I think Mike Koenigs is one of the most inspirational people I've ever seen.
He's genuine and sincere.
The tools that Mike has brought to me have allowed me to revolutionize my business.
Mike Koenigs really has this special talent or gift to inspire people.
He has a vision for helping 1 million people to become millionaire entrepreneurs. That's going to change the whole world.
So today, I'm here to share with you, introduce to you a gentleman who's a dear friend of mine. He's helped me set up my studio and really helped me get going. He's been a dear friend, but more importantly, he's been a consultant to some of the biggest companies in the world. Here's a guy that started literally from nothing, but back in the early days of the web, back in 1991, most people forget, 1989 is when the World Wide Web really was created. So within a few years, he was already the guy that was, writing some of the first CD-ROMs games, that were out there. Did some of the first Mac games that existed for Macintosh. Went out and became the person that really, when the movie industry, was the guy that set up all those initial websites for Sony and for Columbia TriStar and for Fox. Was a guy that's, managed or helped some of the largest business in the world, 3M, Domino's Pizza. But he's also shown people how to get started from nothing. And I know that's what he's probably most proud of.
Mike started his first business at 16, writing software. At 18, he became a computer programmer. Today, Mike's a millionaire.
We're going to tell you how to get off the grid the way the celebrities do. Mike Koenigs is here today. He's a film director, and he's put together this documentary called Life with Tesla.
Earning over $44 million online and helping more than 45,000 customers in 60 countries, Mike has influenced and helped people from around the entire globe, helping them start, build, grow, and reinvent themselves and their businesses, becoming experts, authorities, best-selling authors, and celebrities. He's interviewed and consulted with billionaires, celebrities, and people from all over the world on how to influence, entertain, build, and grow engaged audiences. For years, Mike has been bringing celebrity-level marketing tools and resources to empower startup entrepreneurs and businesses all over the world to do business with anyone using his You Everywhere Now system, helping anyone with a message or business to get seen, heard, found, watched, listened to, and read anytime, anywhere, and on any device, leveraging the largest networks in the world, including Apple, Google, Amazon, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and every social network imaginable to build an engaged following and brand. With the click of a button, anyone can do business with over half of the human race, and Mike's tools and trainings make that possible. Mike built and sold his last 2 businesses to publicly traded companies. His most recent exit was selling Traffic Geyser and Instant Customer in October 2014. Mike's first company, the Digital Cafe Agency, was sold to the publicly traded Interpublic Group in 1999. After 30 years as a serial entrepreneur, today Mike is a 10-time best-selling author, international top-rated speaker, consultant, coach, angel investor, host of his own TV talk show, The Mike Koenigs Show, and he's also a philanthropist who's raised over $2.3 million for the Just Like My Child Foundation, an organization that supports an African community of over 600,000 people in Uganda and Senegal.
So I want to introduce to you Mike Koenigs, my dear friend. Welcome, Mike.
Hey, thanks a lot, Tony.
Hi, this is Mike Koenigs, and I want to talk to you today about how you can build an online business. All right, here we are. Welcome to the event. My name is Mike Koenigs.
Hey, my name's Ed Rush, and wow. This is like a family reunion, man.
What a turnout. Can't believe we've got so many great friends here today. And we have another special guest in the house that I want to give some credit to because he is the co-inventor of Webinar Jam, which is the technology we're using today. We've got Mike Filsaime. So let's say hi to Mike
Filsaime.
All right, there he is. Awesome. So he is over there in the corner talking to you, and he'll be available. So thanks for being here today, Mike.
You got it, absolutely. And just a quick little reminder, everybody, when you're going to be asking questions today, make sure that you tick it as a question. I'm going to be helping Mike moderate questions later in the Q&A. If you leave it in the chat, it's just going to scroll up and it'll never be seen. So if you do have a question that you want answered later in the broadcast, type it in the chat, tick the box that says mark as question, and then I'll hold it here and bring it over to Mike and Ed when the time is right. Thanks.
Fantastic. So if you haven't already introduced yourself in chat, of course, Introduce yourself in chat.
Yeah, tell us who you are, where you're from, what you do. We'd love to interact with you. This is a live show. We're going to be teaching some new things.
Brand new
but
stuff.
As we're doing that, we'd love to interact with you and answer your questions and really be able to interact with you, and we'll be here to do that.
Yep. So one thing that would help us tremendously, like Mike Filsaime just said a moment ago, if you have a specific question, tick it off as a question so we can put it in the bin, because we are going to be answering your questions. We've got a whiteboard over here that Ed's going to be working from as well, and we've got a great presentation prepared. We've been working our rear ends off on this to give you some fantastic material. So with that, if you haven't already, make sure you tell us what kind of business you have. That is invaluable for us to customize the presentation for you today. And what I'm going to do, Ed, is I'm going to stand over by and I'm going to go through some of the things that we're going to be doing. Okay, great. So let me tell you a little bit about what you can expect today from this presentation, because we have done a lot of work. And by the way, that link is where you are right now. The first thing, a little bit into the presentation, once Ed provides some context for you, he's going to share the 5 to 6 figure mobile sales formula. This formula, Ed and I have been using and perfecting, that we've been using to close an $8,900, an $18,500, a $29,000, and $70,000 deal. So if you're looking for ways to build and grow your business and to increase your sales, you are in the right place at the right time. I will tell you that. Next, Ed's going to be sharing the 5 most lucrative business models that are available. And I will tell you that right now there are 2 specific areas of focus that combined represent $1 trillion in revenue that are growing every year. And let's face it, the economy is changing, how our businesses are changing, and the way we're generating and earning income right now is also changing. And the next thing is this. We have a new business category that allows you to do less work, earn more money, and make more impact as well. So if you're in a spot where you are charging by the hour or by the project, this is an effective way to take on more clients, get paid more, and earn more as well. And if you have, let's say, another type of business where that might not sound like it's appropriate, here's the deal. It has to do with how you present and package yourself, and it will work in any industry. And then finally, Ed is going to teach you the 8 words to double your deals technique. This is a psychological formula that works in any industry, in any business, anywhere in the world. And what it does is it gets someone thinking and answering questions that are exceptionally effective to help you understand your client better, for them to feel like they're really well understood, and it allows you to present an offer, a more expensive offer, much more effectively. So it is something I am really, really excited about. And then we have the client intimacy multiplier. This is single-handedly the most effective technique that we've been using to create engagement with prospects and clients before, during, and after a sale. And what it results in is a multiplier in terms of the value of the product and service you're able to provide. So I hope you're prepared, because what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to talk a little bit about Ed Rush before I pass control on to him. But if you don't know Ed Rush, he's a former F-18 fighter pilot. He lives here in San Diego. I've been working with him for 4 years, because when I was diagnosed with cancer about 4 years ago, he came in and he ran my business and became my voice. And prior to that, Ed was one of the most successful customers I had ever had. That's actually originally how I met him. Well, the other thing is, as a former F-18 fighter pilot, this guy has a military mind, and he is not only the most disciplined, but the most efficient person I've ever worked with. And what I can tell you is, if you ever have a chance to work with Ed Rush, you want to take him up on it, because not only is he great at being able to deconstruct and understand a business in just a couple minutes, he knows how to present big deals, and that's a big part about what he's going to be sharing with you today. So with that, we are going to start the show right now. This is You Everywhere Now. This is how to get and close big deals. So Ed Rush, are you ready to go, my friend?
Yeah, I'm ready to go. So as you're joining us again, say hello in chat. So many of you have done that. John McCabe's here, David's here, Aldo's here, Dr. George, Ron. Hello to all of you, Charmaine and Fran and David and Linda.
Wow.
Some of you have said the video might be getting a little blurry. That's fine. That'll catch up as the show's going. It just depends on your connection and where you are and our connection to you. So let's do that. And we're going to get right into the content. When we do this, what I want you to do is 2 things. First of all, I want you to grab something to write on it and a pen, so so that you can take notes. I'm going to be giving you word for word scripting on how to, and this will work for you no matter what industry you're on, online, offline, whatever you do, on how to get better and higher level customers. And then I'd also love your questions. So what we're going to do is the discussion of what works, and then we're going to have a time where we can discuss and answer your questions. We'd love to be able to do that. And we're actually building a database right now of that as we
all
speak.
the questions.
So are you ready to get rocking and rolling?
Right on.
All right,
so
cool. So
as
I'll
I
go
pass
over here.
things on to Ed, I will just tell you, again, take lots of notes and submit your questions as questions, because we're going to be answering them throughout. It doesn't matter what it is. And if you're just joining us right now, make sure you introduce yourself and also tell us what business you are in. So without further ado, this is Ed Rush.
Okay, great. Thank you for joining us. Listen, we're going to go from beginning to end. And again, take some notes because this is going to move pretty fast. I've got a lot of material to cover in a short period of time, and I'm going to be giving you some things that you can say word for word. But first, before we start, let me just share with you the idea behind this. We have students that are getting paid 5 or 6 figures to help people, and you might not think you're qualified. You might not think that you're an expert. We're going to throw all that stuff out, and in just a minute, I'm going to show you why all those excuses absolutely don't work in it anymore because of this. Right now, at this very moment, somebody, someplace in the country that you live in is looking for the solution that you can provide, and all you need to do is get it in front of them and they'll move with you. In fact, some people are actually only looking for a second opinion from you. But before we get there, I just want to share a little bit of my story and how I got to where I'm at now and why I'm helping you do this right now as well. So I'm a former F-18 pilot. I was at Top Gun, but it wasn't always that way. Actually, I'm a guy that failed kindergarten. And it was interesting, when I failed kindergarten, I have a daughter of mine who's 6, and who when she was 6, she's 11 now, who when she was 6, graduated from kindergarten with honors. Well, listen, I didn't do that. I actually failed kindergarten, and because of that, I learned something really, really important. I needed a systematic way of becoming successful, or I was going to completely fail. Other people could rely on intellect, they could rely on their intuition. That wasn't going to happen for me. I was going to have a systematized way to do that, or I was going to fail. Now, fast forward to 1998, I'm in flight school. There's something that I realized when I was in flight school, and it was this one thing: every single person was a great pilot, right? So everyone knew how to fly and absolutely well, and I needed an advantage. Here's why. The F-18, the airplane that I actually flew for 13 years, turns at about 70 degrees per second. That's at 7.5 Gs. That is a hard turn. And when you're turning that fast against another airplane, you're making decisions within maybe a quarter of a second, maybe a half a second. Now, if you do the math, 2 airplanes kind of flying behind each other, which is a very offensive position where you're actually winning right behind someone, and the difference between where you start, which is when you're opposing someone, is exactly 180 degrees. Do the math with me, and if you divide 70 degrees per second into that 180, what you'll realize is that an airplane that achieves a 3-second advantage will win every single fight. So I knew that. I knew that if I got a 3-second advantage, I would win every single fight. And so what I needed to do is string together 3 decisions, 1 second faster than my opponent. Now, remember, I'm the guy that failed kindergarten, so I went back to the drawing board and thought I needed an advantage. Everybody flies great. Everybody's a great pilot. So what I did was I snuck into the hangar late at night on Fridays, and I would sit in the airplane, and I would feel where all the knobs and switches and all the dials were, all over the stick, all over the throttles, all in the console. And I would memorize those, okay, so that when I needed to make a switch to missiles or to guns or simulated, which is typically what we're doing in training, I would know exactly where those things were without having to look. There's my quarter-second advantage. Then what I did is I took out the instruction manual from the book and I memorized every single number so that I knew the perfect airspeed that the F-18 would do its maximum turn rate. And if I flew in a really disciplined fashion right at that airspeed, I would get those tiny little angles. And what I started to do is link together those quarter-second, those half-second, those 1-second advantages and begin to put things together so that I started not losing every dogfight. Like when I started out, I started winning more, I started winning more, I started winning more. And by knowing everything, where everything was blindfolded and knowing all the systems, I saved a bunch of time in finding systems. Okay, now these seemingly small things gave me a huge advantage in the cockpit. Actually, it was a totally unfair advantage. Remember, you don't have to be a lot better to win, you just have to be a little bit better. You need to know which dials, switches, and levers can add an extra 0 to your income. Tony Robbins, who is in the studio right here with Mike, you can see that picture, says that the difference between excellent and outstanding is just 2%, and I found my advantage and it made all the difference in the world for me. Now listen to this. Within 4 years of me starting out, being at the bottom of the totem pole when it came to being a dog fighting pilot in the Marine Corps, within 4 years, I was the #1 instructor in all of the Marine Corps for dogfighting. 4 years. Why? Because of a system. Look, I failed kindergarten, so it wasn't like I did it on my brains. I did it simply because I had a system that I knew I could replicate, and at that point I started teaching it. Now, they were sending me back and forth from Iraq to everywhere to teach these things, and listen, I'm the guy that failed kindergarten. So now fast forward to 2009. I've been out of the Marine Corps for 3 years, and what happens now is I've started to build some successful businesses, and people start to ask me for help. In other words, they're asking me to help me inside of their business. We call it coaching, consulting, advising. I'll explain the difference between those three in just a little bit, but remember, there's millions of people all across the world calling them consultants, so what I needed was an advantage. I went back into the cockpit, or at least back into that cockpit mindset, and did what I did back in the Marines. I studied, I stayed up late, I thought about it, I really looked for these strategic advantages, and then I found it. I totally found the advantage in consulting, and I found the one thing that if I did this, I knew I could have a strategic advantage over everyone that was out there, a perfect way to ask questions that actually started bringing people to me and actually closing deals for me. You see, no one likes salespeople who are like pushy, salesy, or slimy, like that use like these techniques to try to close you into deals. Those days are totally gone. The point is I needed to find a way to do this to get clients to come to me and not the other way around. And so I wrote everything down, a way for clients to come to me, perfect pricing formulas and the numbers that absolutely worked, a series of questions that I created a need for people to come to me for what I do, and a way to ask for the sale that I call the yes before the yes. Now, this is the first time I've taught this publicly, and I'm going to share with you a technique that I've been developing for years. Some of you, by the way, have been with us for years, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years. Some of you have been through previous programs with Mike and I where we've taught you how to consult. We're going to teach you today some brand new techniques that we have not taught publicly anywhere, like the yes before the yes, or our 6-figure text message, or our system that we call Money Phone. We're going to share those with you today. These are new things that we're actually doing. In certain cases, we've gone backwards into the marketing books to share with you some of the new things. And then finally, I learned inside of my switches and dial system a way to over deliver on what I promised. Now, once again, just like in the cockpit, remember, I sat there with my eyes closed, memorized where all the switches and dials were, memorized the book once again, but in consulting, I had my switches and dials, I had my advantage, I had my formula, and all of a sudden, I'm making 7 figures in my business. And it really wasn't until I started doing consulting deals like that I broke into 7 figures. It was exactly 4 years after starting my business in 2006. Since that first client, all the way back in 2008 was my first client, I've had now over 340 one-on-one consulting clients. Most paid me an average of about $10,000 or more. My current rates exceed $20,000. Some of you who've worked with me know that. Now, the final question was this. I knew that I could do it in the cockpit. I knew that I could do it in consulting, but the final question was this. Could I take this system, this sales system, and teach it to someone else? In other words, could I bring anyone in, and in as little as 48 hours, people could learn everything, and then they could leave, and then they could start making money, even if they didn't have a business or product, even if they've never consulted or advised before. And so Mike and I decided to give it a shot. Back in 2012, we brought 28 people here in San Diego. We told them we were going to teach them consulting strategies, we were going to teach them how to close, we were going to teach them how to deliver a great product, and we knew we were going to be able to do it. We just had no idea what was going to happen when people walked out the door. So I spent 2 days unveiling this entire system and trying it all out and letting them try it. And the question was, of course, were they successful? Well, listen, the numbers totally and completely blew us away. Now, think about this. I had been teaching people to close deals during that training that were $2,000 deals, $5,000 deals, $10,000 deals, $20,000 deals. I'm giving people formulas and formats on how to do this, and all of a sudden, bang, the first deal that came in, the first success story from those first 28 people came in, look at that, $74,500. This is actually Carolyn Sampson, who sent us the very first success story back in 2012. She pitched a deal to a doctor that encompassed an entire deal totaling of $74,573. She contracted for 10% of the client's growth for the next 2 years. And then after that deal, when she started delivering for the client, he looked at her and he said these words, which were magical and amazing. He said, "Carolyn, I don't think I'm paying you enough." Now, this is from a person who had never dreamed of consulting before, never did it before, came to the course. Next thing you know, she's closing deals, and people started sending us their deals. And they're closing significant deals. And over half of those 28 people that came into the studio had never ever done consulting before, ever again. They simply had a system. Remember the dials and switches. Remember the idea of getting an advantage. They simply had a system. So after about a year, we sent out a survey. I don't know if you've ever sent a survey out before, but those are terrifying times. You don't know what's going to come back, and all of a sudden the results completely blew us away. We started getting sheet after sheet after sheet after email after email after comment after comment after agreement after agreement after check after check. Look at this number, 87.5% of the people who responded to our survey who went through those initial trainings. It was a little over 100 people who came through those initial classes after we did several of them. Over 87.5% said they had closed a significant deal within 2 months of the training, half of them within 2 weeks. Here's some examples. We had, for example, Megan Fitzgerald and Mary Glorfield, an $85,000 and a $55,000 deal. Listen, I was teaching them to do $5,000 and $10,000 and $20,000 deals. Pat Zemer, who grew an entire 7-figure business based on his consulting program or a certification program around his Magna Wave healing device for horses. Rob Cuesta, who came in with a $5,000 deal. Kendra Dixon, who came in with a $10,000 deal, then a five-figure month, then a 6-figure consulting business, having never consulted before. She actually came to our training so that she could learn to implement some of our tools inside of her husband's business. She ended up starting her own consulting business. Zamira Jones, $12,000 a month deal to launch and grow his own media campaign, and then went on to sell $138,950. Ian Bosler, a $37,500 deal. Now, you ever heard of the 80-20 rule? Basically what the 80-20 rule says is that 80% of the people are not successful, 20% are. 20% implement, 80% don't implement. That 87.5% number, we literally turned the 80-20 rule on its head, and we knew we had something. Now, in the interest of full disclosure, let's talk about projections or moving forward. We can't look you in the eye and say that when you use the system that I'm about to teach you, that you're going to go forward with an 87.5% success rate. Not because the system, but because we don't know you. So if you're willing to implement, if you're willing to roll up your sleeves and absolutely make it happen, we believe that you're going to see success. But if you don't do anything, absolutely nothing is going to happen. So we're not predicting your success. We're simply showing you that this system flat out works. And here's what this means to you. There's no better time than the present to get into coaching, consulting, or advising. And if you do consult, how about taking a few minutes right now to find out how you can make a ton more money, double, triple your revenue, or help take more time off, or even help a bunch more people. So let's get started. Not only am I going to share my specific repeatable system that switches and dials, but I'm going to give you specific word for word things to say that you can use in future deals to get more deals. So grab a pen. Get ready to write this stuff down. This is going to go fast. I got about 45 minutes left, and we have no plans on sending out a replay, so this is going to be it right now. Ask your questions. Mike and I will be on chat to help you, so let's get started. Go ahead, Mike.
Right. Yeah, just a couple quick things as we get going here. I know we're getting the questions. So now that Ed has laid down the context of this presentation, so you know at least the background, the lessons are going to make a lot of sense. This is where you're really going to want to pay attention to the language patterns, because a huge part about getting and closing deals really has to do with the language you're using. And when we get into, for example, the text marketing strategies that we're going to show and teach you, it's also going to make some more sense too. And then Ed's going to cover those 8 questions, which are super, super powerful. So again, just take lots of notes and know there's some really interesting nuances here. So I'm going to be paying very, very close attention to the comments that get shared, as is Mike Filsame. And then again, if you have any questions that you want us to answer, go ahead and submit those. We'll flag them. Just make sure you tick them. So Ed, go ahead, take it away.
All right, great. So the presentation from here is basically broken down into 2 parts. First, there's myths or obstacles or things that have been holding you back, and then there's the things that you need. And I'm going to give you a checklist to move forward like as a successful coach, consultant, or advisor. I'm going to give you everything you need, and then I'm going to fill in the blanks and give you the words to say as I give you what you need. But we need to get through these first 5. They're just myths. They're things that you've been told. And the problem is, if we move into the actual strategies, the step-by-step strategies, but we don't cover these, this doesn't get successful without these, because you end up with these blocks, okay? And they're not like personal growth blocks. They're actually ways of thinking and ways of acting as a consultant. And I need to share with you basically the way or the positioning or the right way to communicate as a consultant. So first, let's cover this. So as you're writing these down, it's going to be 2 parts. One is the myth. The second is your checklist, and I'll go through both of those. But right now, write down the myths. These are the things that you've been led to believe. And the first one is, listen, I don't know where to start. Okay, so this is actually the second biggest question we get, which is, I want to get into consulting. I'd love to make an extra $10,000 a month, but where exactly do I start? And the point is, you need a system, okay? And so I'm going to share with you step by step what the system is. Otherwise, you're just shooting in the dark. Let me give you an example. Accenture which used to be Anderson Consulting. Basically what they do is they take a bunch of college kids. If you've ever seen, Accenture goes to like every college campus and they basically hire almost all the business majors to come into their company. Last year, Accenture made $32 billion off of the back of college kids. And here's what they do. They give the college kids a system. Then they walk into some of the biggest companies in the world, and these college kids advise the biggest companies in the world on what to do based on their system, and Accenture makes $32 billion. Now, I don't know when you graduated from college, but my guess is you know more than the average college kid did when they were leaving college and working for Accenture. But what you might not have is the system, okay? So this is the beginning of the system. This is what we call our 5 consulting models. This is the first time that we've actually taught this publicly. Mike and I took a bunch of time and we identified what we consider are the 5 most lucrative business models that you can absolutely start in right now. Now, these aren't the only 5. I'll go through a list of a whole bunch of different other consulting businesses that you can have, but we found that these are super, super lucrative because people are right now willing to pay money for you to help them solve their problems. So for example, book marketing, helping people get books launched, done, or to bestseller. Digital marketing, which is nothing more than getting leads or customers. Video or webcast marketing, which is helping people do what we're doing right now, using a system, for example, like Webinar Jam, which we're using to broadcast their message. Or product creation, asking people questions and putting together a product, or what we call strategic advisor, which is a category that we've actually just recently added over the last 3 months to our consulting models, because what we found is a natural progression as a consultant is actually to move into strategic advisor. Now think about this. Book marketing, digital, video, product, great money in these models and a great opportunity to move forward. But what you're doing in these 4 is you're actually doing a lot of the work. In strategic advisor, which is the kind of consulting Mike and I get hired to do, you walk in, sit down with a business, 4, 5, 6, 8 hours, 2 days, whatever it is, you give them advice, you tell them what to do, and then you leave and their team does it. So this is very lucrative and not a lot of work on your part, and we'll show you how to get into a business like that. Now, here's one example that I'll just use, which is Jim House, who, when Jim first came to us, he was actually writing books and working with dads. We encouraged Jim, because he was really good at books, to move into consulting, and now he's charging between $5,000 and $35,000 helping people create books. And so you can see someone who simply transitioned. He had never done consulting before for book marketing, and he moved into that. Okay, so now you might be saying, look, I don't know anything about any of those. Remember, the most lucrative ones are the ones that we just identified, but there's a bunch more. What we're talking about will work for any niche. For example, you've got nutrition, healthcare, fitness, alternative medicine, financial services, spirituality, religion, or ministry. For example, I know folks who are consulting for churches right now, actually doing 4 and 5 figure deals consulting churches, coaching and consulting personal growth, relationships, love, sex. I'll introduce you to somebody right now who's making 6 figures, teaching people, helping people have better relationships as a consultant. Nonprofits, travel, caregiving, writing, poetry, education, addictions, home business, info marketing, IT, legal. I built an entire 7-figure business doing just consulting for attorneys, not legal consulting for attorneys, but helping attorneys with marketing, photography, real estate, skincare, management. The list goes on and on and on. For example, Gary Rush, who's one of our clients who's worked with us before, Gary is a personal coach. He helps people solve their personal problems. He helps them achieve breakthrough by asking them a series of questions. Came to us, was making $100. Next thing you know, he's making $500, not because he changed the way he was doing things, but because he changed the way that he's charging. And I'm going to give you the pricing formulas in just a second. Okay, next myth is not believing you're an expert. Okay, listen, in the land of the blind, the one-eyed man is king. In the land of the blind, the one-eyed woman is queen. What that means is you don't need to know more than your prospect on a certain topic. You just need to know the right questions. And this is really important. Most consultants think, gosh, I need to know all the answers. That's not true. What you need to know are all the questions, okay? And so what you need to know also is just a little bit about a topic so that you can help them move forward on a topic and you get paid to learn. What you do need, however, are 2 things. First, a desire to help people. That's what consulting is. Second, the willingness to close the deals. You can learn the rest in implementation. I told you the story about Carolyn Sampson. The other part of the story I didn't tell you is when she offered her digital marketing package to the doctor that she was working with, she didn't know how to implement all of it. What she did is she offered it, closed the deal, and then came back into our studios and did another training so that she could learn how to deliver it all. Okay, that's closing a deal right there. Myth number 3 is this one. Yeah, I got it, Ed. I want to be a consultant. I want to help people, be an advisor, be a coach, but I need money now. Listen, the fastest way, in my opinion, to make $10,000 like right now, and we're going to show you how to do this using text messaging. Mike's going to show you that in just a second, is to close a $10,000 deal right now, or a $5,000 deal right now, or a four $2,500 deals right now. Okay, so that's myth number 3. Now, if I had to start from scratch right now, here's what I would do. I'd take out my phone and I would start texting people on my phone some questions that Mike's about to give you word for word, and I would start doing one-on-one assessments. In fact, that's what John Cody did, who closed a $12,000 deal coming right out of our program in one day. Again, remember, the fastest way, in my opinion, to make an extra $10,000 right now is to close a coaching, consulting, or advising deal using your phone, which is what Mike is just about to show you right now. So Mike, 6-figure text messages, let's talk about that as a technique. I'll give you the clicker. You can switch places with me.
You got it.
And then we'll jump back in.
All right, I know this is one of the big promises that we made for you, which was how the 6-figure text messages work. And anytime I come back from a meeting and I've got business cards and I need to do a follow-up, or I get off of a plane, this is the technique I use. Now, Ed's got a couple other strategies that we stack on top of this in terms of how we find some bigger opportunities. But what I do, and I'm going to show you some of the messages first, and then I'm actually going to show you how I do it, because I use a selfie stick turned sideways. The one I've been using for a long time is called iStabilizer. And I put my phone in it so I can put it at my desk and I can just click. And what I've found is videos made with mobile phones are a lot more intimate. So people feel a deeper connection with you. So some of the messages that I'm going to show you are literally one line, and they are designed to generate a micro commitment, which is just a response and a reaction instead of dumping a whole bunch of stuff on top of them. And here's the biggest thing that using mobile text and mobile video does, and mobile audio also, is people who are using email often just write too much stuff. The person's overwhelmed, and it gives them decision-making fatigue, and they don't react or respond at all. So if you're not getting reactions, responses, or engagement from people, it's because you're providing too much stuff. So let me show you the specifics, and we're going to want to go full screen on these so you can see it. So this is message number 1 that I use. If we can go full screen on the computer, please, so you can see this. This is an extremely useful message, and it is so brain dead simple. It's just checking in. Do you need anything from me today? And this will just start someone to respond or react to you and give you some sort of feedback. Now here's another one. Quick question. Are you still looking to buy or interested in, and then whatever that is? Okay, so this would be for someone that you have inside your mobile text. And again, I'm going to show you the teaser video that I use following this. But again, it provides some very, very fast engagement. Now, here's another one, which is a classic, and this has worked forever for us, which is first name, I have an idea about how you can grow your business, lose weight, get healthier, whatever value you provide, insert it here. And here's what I do next. I may add to that, watch this short video and it will explain what I'm talking about, or are you interested in knowing more? So here's what I do. This is a summary of how I've been engaging people, high-level people. And again, the leads I'm either getting from Facebook messages, okay, so this will work with that. It will work from live events, business cards, or even if, let's say, you are on a flight, for example, and you meet someone. And this happens all the time. If you just search through your past messages in your phone, you can find that there are literally usually anywhere from 20 to a couple hundred people that you started to connect with, started communicating, and both of you forgot. And so the point is, this is a re-engagement strategy. So all I do is I set my phone down, and I either do it at my desk or I will do it in my backyard. I click my phone, and here's what I do. To be super efficient, you want to record all of these all at once. So I can do 50 of them per hour. The video is simply click, record, and I say, hey, this is Mike Koenigs, and we met at the Bulletproof Conference. And while we were there, we talked about how to access more people, how to increase your visibility, and how to whatever you do, okay, how to do this and this. And I'm following up with you because I've got 2 ideas that I know can help you grow your business. So if you're interested, what I'm going to do is give you a strategy that you can use to engage an audience very, very quickly. That's the first one. And the second one is an idea on how you can get whatever result that you talked about. Okay? If you want to know more, just respond, say yes, and I'll send you a little more information. Okay? That first video is less than a minute, and it's personalized for the person and in the context. The second video then is simply me telling them about what it is. And then if they say, yeah, I want to know more, I send them an order link. It is basically 3 short videos under a minute each. And again, what's key, most important, are tiny, short, micro commitments, okay? It's getting someone to react once and then be able to ask for a little bit more. What's important is I pre-record all the follow-up videos. Other than the first one, they're all the same. So I hope you can use this right now, but this has been miraculous in terms of engaging and re-engaging leads, and both online and offline. So Ed Rush,
Great, cool.
Back to you.
So what I'd love for you to do, Mike, as we switch places, some folks said they couldn't see the screen right there. So if you can maybe just copy those, put it in the chat so people can copy and paste those. So once again, we're just giving you the words, we're giving you the text messages. You're going to leave this, as you can tell, you're already getting a lot of scripting or things that you can say or ways to communicate. As you're writing this down, start to think, how can I implement this? Okay, so you're not a passive bystander on this one. Just really engage mentally as we're sharing this stuff with you and think about how you can implement it. This we're calling our 6-figure text message. There's a reason for this, okay? We have closed $18,000, $29,000, $70,000 deals. Start adding them up. It's a really big number, and we want you to be able to use the same thing, and we're simply sharing with you and telling you the strategies that we're using right now to implement. Okay, so hopefully that was huge for you. I know it was huge for me. Just go implement it, all right? Now, myth number 4, I don't like to sell, I don't know how to close. Now, when I started consulting, I definitely didn't know how to close, and I definitely didn't like to sell. In fact, I still don't, okay? And so the point is, people don't like being sold to. People don't even like being offered things, okay? And so the idea in consulting and coaching, which I love, is it's a conversation that simply ends in a question, which I'm gonna give you the actual question, which doesn't even sound like you're actually closing anything. Next thing you know, you're getting a check, you're doing business with somebody, and you're both having a really great time, okay? So the great thing about this dials and switches, remember I sat in the cockpit blindfolded, okay? This system, the great thing about the system that I developed is because I don't like closing, I didn't like when I read sales books, those hard closing techniques that were you manipulate somebody into doing something. I didn't like that stuff. I like to be able to have a conversation with someone that was personal, and then to be able to help them see how I can work with them, how they can benefit, how I can benefit, and that's the way that I did it. And so I built this system that took all the prospecting, all the cold calling, and turned it into a series of questions, okay? For example, one of our members took the list of questions out. I'm gonna share the questions with you, by the way. You're gonna write them down and you're gonna use them. One of our students took the questions into a meeting, sat down with a business owner for an hour and just asked questions for an entire hour. He didn't say anything other than simply asking questions. And after an hour, this person who became his customer said, look, you're a genius. This has to be one of the best meetings I've ever had with a consultant. And all he did was ask questions, okay? So closing, now think about this. Closing is getting someone to say yes. Closing can be as easy as in write this down, these words. So, are you ready to get started working together? That's the way I close deals. Think about that for a second. You get to a conversation, you're sitting at Starbucks, maybe talking to somebody, and then or on the phone, and you just go, so, you ready to get started working together? That's closing. Do you see that? That's not manipulative, that's not hard, that's not persuasive, that's just a question, okay? And what happens with that question is they either say yes, or they ask you some follow-on questions, you answer those questions and you move forward, and I'm gonna teach you what happens. So if they say yes, you got the deal. If they say, ask a question, I'm gonna teach you another technique in a moment called the yes before the yes, where you can close the deal on the next question. No questions asked every single time, and I'll show you how to do that. Now, think about this. These are 8 powerful words. So we told you in the beginning of the presentation that we're gonna give you 8 words that you can say to close deals. There they are. So are you ready to start, get started working together? Are you ready to start working together? Those are the words that you can say. Just write those down and go ahead and use them. Like, for example, Irene, who's been working with us for years now, she started out, she was doing deals at $500. Now she added a 0. She's doing deals at $5,000, delivering exactly the same thing. She's upped her price, she's upped her credibility, she's upped the clientele that she's working with, simply because of the words that she's saying. These are huge. Now, remember I said, you're gonna ask, so are you ready to get started working together? Someone's gonna say either yes, or they're gonna ask you a question. Okay, so they're gonna say, yeah, but the price is a little bit high, or have you ever done this before, or do you have a guarantee, or can you tell me a little bit more about what you do? What you're going to do is this. You're going to ask the so are you ready to get started working together question. Then if they ask another question, which we call in sales an objection, this is another question. When they ask another question, if they do that, what you're going to do is you're going to say a comment or ask them a question that I call the yes before the yes. And so what you're going to do is you're going to say something like, I'm assuming. So for example, I had someone sit down with me and I had given them a proposal. We're going to show you how to get all that stuff too. I gave them a proposal and then they said, the proposal looks good. We just have a few questions on the proposal. And then I said, so I said, that's great. I said, I'd love to sit down and answer your questions. I said, I'm assuming that once we get through the questions, if everything's been answered according to your satisfaction, we're moving forward on a deal. That's my assumption. This is called a yes before a yes. Here's why. They have to say yes. Because if they say no, I'm like, well, why are we asking these questions in the first place? If they say yes, what I know is I got like 3 questions to answer and then we're gonna move forward on a deal. And what you've just done is close the deal before you close the deal. Did you catch that? You get a yes before the yes and it starts with assuming. Hey, I'm assuming once we get through these questions that we're gonna move forward on a deal, assuming everything's been answered to your satisfaction. That's the way the yes before the yes work. Hopefully that was helpful for you. Write it down and actually do it, see it work for you, okay? Myth number 5 is the last one, which is, isn't this just trading dollars for hours? The answer is actually yes, but everything is. Think about this. The question isn't trading dollars for hours. The question is how many dollars for how few hours. For example, when you go to the bank, you bring a check to the person at the bank that's got $10,000 on it, or $15,000, or 20, or 25. These are real numbers from real deals from our students or deals that we've done, okay? When you bring that check to the bank, here's one thing they don't ask you. When they take the check and they spin it through the thing, the bank teller, I've done this 1,000 times, they never ask you this question. They never say, how many hours did you work to get that check? They never ask, okay? And so the point is, hour for hour, pound for pound, I think coaching, consulting, advising is one of the single best ways to make a lot of money with a little time and have a huge impact, okay? I learned this back when I was given free lunch lessons. When I used to go to events early on, I used to get people to say, hey, could I take you out to lunch so I could pick your brain? I'd be like, oh, dude, I'd totally love to have you take me out to lunch. For like 2 hours, I would sit there giving free information that they would do nothing with. And then what I started to do is picture 2 things in my mind. Someone would say, can I take you out to lunch to pick your brain? And I would picture myself playing Legos with my boys on one side. On the other side, I was picturing myself giving free advice. And then I'd turn that question that somebody asked me at a free lunch into a consulting question, right? I would say, hey, no problem. I'd love to sit down and talk to you. This is what I do for a living. Assuming we can get together and talk about this, I'm assuming you'd be wanting to move forward on a deal. Is that right? If they say yes, I'm going to start talking to that person. If they say no, then I'm going to move on, okay? So again, it's not trading dollars for hours, it's just how many dollars for how many hours, and I absolutely love to do this. Okay, so those are the myths. Those are the 5 things that would hold you back. Now that we broke through all those 5 things, we taught you the text message technique, we taught you the yes before the yes, we taught you how to close, the 8 words on how to close. Now we're gonna show you the 8 things that you want in your toolkit. And here's the thing, when you line these 8 things up, you're gonna make money. You're going to. You're going to have people who are coming to you. You're going to know the questions that you're going to ask. You're going to know how to pitch. You're going to know how to close. You're going to know how to do all those things. You just need these 8, and I'm going to line them up for you so that you've got everything that you need. So grab a pen and write these down. This is the 8 things that you need in your consulting toolkit. Okay, so the first thing is a positioning tool. This is uber critical. I was talking this morning on the phone to a guy who mentored me in high school. The guy has been a very successful executive for companies for years and years and years. He's going into consulting now, and he's actually talking to the person who's doing his first consulting deal with. And I started telling him, I said, look, John, the most important thing that you can have right now is positioning. Remember, it's them coming to you, not you going to them. And so one of the most important things you can have as a consultant is positioning. And I know you might be thinking, how am I supposed to get positioning where like somebody's coming to me? I don't even know who would be coming to me. I'm going to teach you that in just a second. Just write this stuff down. Now, positioning is this. It's just rapidly showing yourself as the obvious expert or go-to. It gets them ready to say yes, which is why positioning is so important. Now, if you've ever had one of these conversations that's like a never-ending, you meet for lunch, you meet at Starbucks, you meet for lunch, you meet at Starbucks, where you're just talking to this person and talking to this person, and it never ends with a consulting deal, it never ends with money. That cycle ends with positioning, okay? I don't do that. Mike doesn't do that. And I didn't do that even when I was starting out, okay? Deals close when you have positioning. Listen, you wouldn't do that with Warren Buffett. You wouldn't be like, hey, let's get together for lunch, let's get together for lunch, let's get together for lunch. Warren Buffett would close a deal with you, and it would be an expensive deal. And the point is, if Warren Buffett doesn't do that, you shouldn't do it too, okay? So positioning is the difference, as Dan Kennedy talks about, the difference between an annoying pest and being a welcome guest, okay? Positioning is what gets you to be welcome. Or if it's the difference between somebody saying this about you, oh man, I have to go to lunch with that guy, or I get to go to lunch with that guy. That's positioning, and I'm going to show you how to get positioning on this slide, and it includes these things. It includes having a book or a #1 best-selling book. It includes maybe having a podcast where you interview people and you're the expert, or maybe you're doing interviews with high-level or high-value folks, or maybe you're blogging and you're an expert. For example, Irene, the one that I showed you who's making 6 figures in relationships, her biggest positioning tool is her blogging. She blogs all the time, gets tens of thousands of people, hundreds of thousands of people to her blog, and because she's an expert, people come to her and pay her a lot of money to work with her. Or speaking, which I consider pound for pound, hour for hour, one of the fastest and most efficient ways to get clients. And I'll show you how to do speaking, even if you hate speaking, even if you're afraid. Look, if you're a bad speaker, sometimes that actually helps you because it gives you credibility, all right? So those are some positioning tools. Now, some other ones that we'll go through, if you don't have one of those, get one of those, but if you don't have one of those, there's other ways. You can become like strategically unavailable. In other words, you're not there all the time to answer everyone's question, or you do what I call turning the tables. And again, I'm moving fast through this and I'm giving you a lot of strategies, but this is another line that you can use. So for example, if you're talking to someone and they start saying, well, tell me more about you and tell me more about what you do and tell me what you can do for me, you can actually turn the conversation around and say something like this. So maybe you can give me a few reasons why you feel like you're a good fit to work with me, or a good fit for this program, or a good fit to write a book with me. That is called a turn the tables question. You can do that very, very conversationally and very seamless. But when you do that, what happens is the coolest thing. Instead of you telling the person why you're so great and why they should work with you, what they start doing is telling you why they're so great and why they should work with you. All that is positioning, and you can do it with words. In fact, the words that I'm teaching you to use right now, okay? First thing is positioning. Second thing you need is a pricing strategy. Remember I said, what do I consult on is the second biggest question? Well, pricing, biggest question. By far the biggest question. And this is where most coaches and consultants completely fail. They very much underestimate the value of their time, their experience, and their story. Listen, I've done consulting days with over 340 businesses. I haven't had one, not one, who's come into the office who's told me, who went through the whole program and I said, you know what, you're charging too much. Not one. Most of them, in fact, almost all of them were charging too little. Why? Because we underestimate the value of what we provide. We do that too, okay? So it's important to understand the value of what you offer. It's in one word, impact. And so what you do is you ask questions to qualify and to start putting someone in a place where you start to see what they're willing to pay. I'm going to give you those questions in just a second. Now, there's 6 different pricing models. I'll go through these fairly quickly, so write them down. First is a fee. That's where someone pays you a certain amount of money to work with you. The second one is a monthly retainer. All you do is get paid every single month instead of once. There's also a percentage. So for example, you work with someone and they give you a percentage of the project you work on, or the product you work on, or the business that you work on. Be careful here, by the way. New people starting out with new businesses are really willing to give you a percentage, but remember, like 50% of zero. So you're still doing a lot of work, and you might not even get paid, which is why I like to actually do a combined, which is a fee plus a percentage. So maybe they pay me $7,500 plus 10% of the deal that we work on. There's trades. Again, new people will use this a lot. Hey, let's trade I'm a dry cleaner, so like somebody's like, hey, I'll trade you a year's supply of dry cleaning for your consulting. And I'm like, I'll just trade you money for my consulting. Because think about this, when you go down to the bank, you can't trade a year in of dry cleaning to pay off your mortgage. Okay, so the trade might not be right for you for that. I typically operate the same way Chase Bank does, okay, which is they don't take trades, and I typically don't take trades, but that's you. I talked about this one up front with a percentage, and then the 6th pricing model is ownership of companies. Some people would be willing to do that to give you smaller percentage points on the company so that you can start to work with them. All right, now in the next section, I'll show you how to bypass all of that and have someone tell you exactly what they'll pay you, which is actually the key. So think about this. You could come with a proposal and an idea of what you're going to charge. Let's say it's $5,000. But what if you asked your prospect a series of questions and they told you they were willing to pay you $10,000? You just got a $5,000 raise because you asked a couple questions. Those are pretty valuable questions. And so we're going to talk about how to add zeros to deals, which is number 3, which is presenting. Now, presenting, when I say that, it sounds like you're actually talking about yourself, but you're not. You're actually asking good questions because the deal is always about your prospect. Huge mistakes start to happen here. So long as you can avoid being comfortable, being quiet and nodding your head and not saying anything, you'll find, here's what I mean. Okay, I'm gonna give you an example. Your prospect might look at you and they might say, so tell me a little bit more about what you do. Most consultants at this point just start talking for hours, like on and on and on, and they start telling story after story, and they start solving all the person's problems. But remember, this question, what do you do? When someone asks you, what do? You know what they're actually asking? That wasn't a question about you at all. You know what it was? It was a question about them. Okay, actually they're asking a question about them. What they really mean is, what would you do for me? How could you help me? How can my business grow because of what you could do for me? And so when someone asks me, what do you do? I'll typically respond with a series of questions, like, for example, what I call my doing, how's that working, or like to be doing questions. Now, write these down. These are scripts. These are formulas that you can use. So, for example, like in digital marketing, where somebody is getting leads and customers, it would be leads and customers and ads and retention and selling to customers. Like, those are categories. Most businesses, not just digital marketing, but example, if you're a digital marketing consultant, I'll use that. So let's say you sit down with a prospect, and the prospect, he or she looks at you and says, so tell me about what you do, okay? And you could simply turn around and say, I'd love to get to know your business a little bit more to see how I can help you. So why don't you tell me what you're doing right now to get leads? Have them answer the question. So how's that working for you? Have them answer the question. Now, what would you like to be doing to get leads? That's 3 questions on leads. Then I say, what are you doing right now to get customers? How's that working for you? What would you like to be doing to get customers? I'm going to start through these questions, and as I'm starting through these questions, what I'm going to start to see are the issues that the business owner has, the pain points that the business owner has, and you're going to start to hear it. Let me give you an example. When I talk about customers, what are you doing right now to get customers? They'll say, right now our sales team's following up with the customers. How's that working? You will see the business owner go like this, Ed. To say that it's been abysmal is an understatement. And then I'd say, okay, great, what would you like to be doing? You know what we'd love to do? We'd love to do live casting like you and Mike do. We'd love to have videos online just like you and Mike do. Or we'd love to have the ability to do events like you guys do. If people are starting to say that, if they're saying, hey, I'd like to do this, I'd like to do this, I'd like to do this, guess what that means? That means there's money attached to that, okay? So here's what this means to you. What this means to you is if you simply use these questions and get a business owner asking these things and start to answer these things to tell you what they want, you start plugging yourself in like a little Lego set into their problems and you can start making money. This is the path to $10,000 right here, okay? Now, there's some other questions. Like, for example, there's a question I call the magic wand question. So I'll just say to a business owner, I'll say, hey, look, if you could just wave a magic wand, you can make 3 problems or challenges go away in your business, what would they be? Now I'm thinking about what his challenges are and how I can solve them. Okay, then I'm going to ask maybe some what I call my done before questions. Again, this is all scripting you can use. Write it down, use it word for word. This is totally free. We're not even charging you for this. The point is, go out there and use it and use this system. Done before question. Like, for example, I'm going to ask someone, what consultants have you worked with before? What kind of help have you had before? What kind of budget have you had in the past? What kind of budget do you currently have? What kind of budget do you have for marketing? What kind of budget do you have to bring someone in? I'm starting to ask them questions about money so that they can start to answer questions for me about what they have available so that I can see how I can fit myself in and actually get paid. Okay, that's number 3. Okay, this, by the way, right there, if you just did nothing more than that one segment and you just wrote those questions down and you went and used them, this would be more than the value of you showing up, just going out there, but it doesn't work if you just write it down and don't use it, okay? So get out there and implement it. Number 4 is pitching and closing deals. Remember we started with positioning, then price, then presenting, which is nothing more than asking questions. Finally, we're gonna get to the point at which someone actually pays you. Now, there's 2 ways to do this. The most effective way to do any kind of consulting, advising, coaching, selling is one-on-one. The most efficient way is to do it one-to-many. Like, for example, what we're doing right now, or in front of a group of people, like if you're speaking. All right, now speaking, this is some examples of one-to-many. Speaking, podcasts, webcasts, books, social media, all the things that you're familiar with online, even offline, that's one-to-many, and there's ways to combine both of them. And I'll show you how to do both of those things. But first, let's talk one-on-one, where most consulting deals, actually the big ticket deals typically occur, and there's 2 parts to this, which is this. Number 1, it's asking for the sale. Remember how to do this? Remember the words that I gave you, the 8 words you're gonna say, so, are you ready to get started working together? Those are the words for asking for the sale. And then answering questions. Most Most consultants or salespeople would call these objections, but they're just questions. They're questions that people might ask, like, for example, the price. They might say, hey, the price might be a little bit too high, or is there a way that I could do payment plans? Those would be, if you're a salesperson, you would call those objections. Those are just questions. They're just someone asking you a question. Okay, so pitching and closing deals or getting paid is nothing more than asking for the sale and answering questions like these: price, or maybe the guarantee, or hey, have you done this before? These are all questions that someone's going to ask you. So for example, I'm going to use, remember what I said, I'm going to say, so are you ready to get started working together? Then I'm going to come back, and then they're going to ask a question, and then I'm going to give you the answer to the question as a yes before the yes. So remember, I'm going to ask them for the sale, and then I'm going to give them an answer to the question as a yes before the yes. So let me give you an example of how I would do this. If somebody says to me, for example, let's say I'm offering them a deal for $10,000 to help them write a book, okay? And they say, boy, everything looks great, Ed, but the price is just a little bit outside of my range. So maybe I'll ask them a little bit of a question. Could you give me an idea where your range is? And then I'm going to ask them a yes before the yes. It would go something like this. Okay, it's right up on the board. And you can just write this down. I would just say, that sounds reasonable. So right now we're at about $10,000, assuming, remember the word is assuming. You're not saying you're going to get the money off. You're just saying assuming I could get another $1,000 off, would you be ready to move ahead on this deal? Now think about the psychology behind this for a second. I didn't commit to getting $1,000 off. I just said assuming I could get $1,000 off. But what I'm doing is I'm saying assuming I could get $1,000 off, would you be ready to move forward with the deal? When the person says yes, what do you have? You have a deal. They're going to pay you $9,000. You know that, and you got a yes before the yes because the person has already told you that they're going to do that. Okay? Actually, what did you want me to do? So take a screen. This is Mike's giving me a sign. Take a screenshot of this or write it down word for word, because this is an objection clause. Okay, look, we've got hundreds of these. The ability to tell someone what to do, but it's like this. That sounds reasonable. So right now we're at $10,000, assuming we could get another $1,000 off. Would you be willing to move forward for the deal? This is simply nothing more than a yes before the yes. All right, thanks for that, Mike. Number 5, last on the first 5, and then we'll move into 3 more things in your checklist. Remember, we're building a checklist of things that you need as a consultant. When you line all of these things up, you get paid, you help people, you have a really great time. It's a great delivery and follow-up plan. This is the last thing. What you want once you start to deliver. So now a lot of consultants, they do marketing, and they get a deal, and then they forget the whole bunch of marketing after the deal. So for example, you want a testimonial, you want follow-on deals, you want referrals from your customer, you want to build a consulting empire deal by deal by deal. You want to under-promise and over-deliver. Those are all things that start to happen here in delivery and follow-up. Now, let's talk about this, because the difference between a coach, a consultant, and an advisor is actually in delivery. And so here's the way you look at these 3, and there's what I believe in is an ascension. So for example, a coach is somebody that I would consider they will work with you personally. They're working with maybe you as in health or fitness or your mindset or your approach or your follow through or your implementation. So some of us work with coaches. I know I certainly do. A lot of the stuff I'm working with on the coaches, like mindset stuff, implementation, accountability, and follow-up. A consultant is somebody who takes your problem as a business owner, or you take their problem as a business, and you solve those problems, but typically through implementation, right? So for example, if you are a digital marketing consultant, you take those problems on and you help them get leads. If you're a product marketing consultant, you take that problem on and you help someone create a product. An advisor is somebody who sits down with a business owner and listens to their problems and then gives them advice, and then the business owner goes and implements the advice. Typically speaking, moving from coach to consultant to advisor, the dollars just kind of get higher. So you ever seen the Yelp? It has like $1 sign for like a McDonald's and then $5 signs for the really expensive restaurant. As you move from coach to consultant to advisor, what you start to see is the dollar signs start to increase. This is nothing more than simply experience. And so a lot of times what we do, and I certainly did this, is you start out on delivery-based consulting and then you move into advising very quickly. All right? Number 6 of the things you need is a book. This is the ultimate positioning tool, in my opinion. So back about 5 years ago, I started a business marketing to attorneys. I didn't know anything about marketing to attorneys. I had no positioning in that market. People didn't know me. I didn't know them. And to make matters worse, there were these really big, huge companies like LexisNexis and FindLaw that were dominating this space, and underneath there were like these $500 webmasters living in their parents' basement that were marketing to attorneys, and we were going to insert ourselves right in the middle as a boutique a marketing agency for attorneys, and we had no idea how to do it. We started calling the bar associations because we wanted to go in and speak. They didn't give us the time of day, and we're building this team. Behind the scenes, we got mouths to feed, and we're trying to start to build this business, but we don't have revenue coming in. And then all of a sudden, we wrote a book. We went from one speaking event in 1 year to 48 speaking events the next year simply because of the power of the book. Here's all I used to do. I used to call a bar association and I used to say, and by the way, here's some more scripting coming your way, which is this. I would say, hey, my name's Ed Rush. I'm the #1 best-selling author of How to Turn Clicks into Clients. We're on a book tour, and as a part of our book tour, we're on a speaking tour. I was wondering if you wanted to have us come in and speak, and listen to this, 95% of the people we got on the phone booked us to speak when we came in. Why? Because of the book. I didn't even send them, I started sending them book, but after a while, I didn't even send it, I just told them about the book. And it got us in. Why? Because the book is credibility. And then we went in and spoke, and we started closing $14,000, $15,000, $17,000 deal with $1,500 to $2,500 a month on continuity simply because of a book. Do not underestimate the power of a book. If you've got a book, good. If you don't have a book, when would now be a really great time to get your book done? Number 7 on the list, and we're almost home, are scripts and forms and proposals and agreements and ways to counter objections with your words. Now, there's 2 ways to do this. You can make this up as you go along. In other words, when someone asks you a question, you can just make it up, okay? When somebody asks you to send them a proposal, you can just write one. When someone asks you to schedule an appointment, you can just start typing an email, or you can fall in on things that actually work. So for example, you need scripts for scheduling appointments, for asking for the sale, for countering objections, for getting speaking events, for following up via email, phone, or text, for confirming speaking events, for attracting talent, for selling books. These are super, super, super important. So for example, I have a book that I simply use. I just pull out the Word document and send it, and it absolutely works. If you've ever experienced this, I'm gonna give you the symptom and the cause and exactly what happened in between, which is this. You ever have a conversation with somebody where you were like totally dialed in, they're super excited about you, you're excited about them, you start talking about a deal, you think you're gonna move forward, you go home, tell your wife, tell your husband, hey, it looks like we're gonna get paid, I got a deal working, everything's working great, and then all of a sudden you send a proposal out and you never hear from the person ever again? That's because the proposal completely scared them away, or your agreement scared them away. So you need templates and tools for each one of these things. And the 8th thing on your checklist is this: you need team, or you need a wingman. You need people you can trust, people behind you, this community of like-minded people with ongoing connections, resources, and training, okay, to help you along the way. So, little recap, and then we'll go to some questions, which is this. Here are the 8 things you need. First, you need a positioning tool. Remember I said there were 5 of those: books, podcasts, speaking. You need a way to get in front of your market, interviews, blogging, a way to get in front of your market that positions you as the expert. So next thing you need is a pricing strategy. You need to know what you're going to charge so that you're not literally trading tons of hours for a very small amount of dollars and find out you're making $10 an hour on a $2,000 deal over the month, okay? 3rd thing you need is a presenting strategy. Remember, presenting actually isn't telling people about you and your services. It's you asking really good questions so that they tell you about what they do, so that you can start to plug yourself in as a marketing consultant and really help them make a bunch of money. 4th thing you need is the ability to pitch and close deals. There's 2 ways to do that: one-on-one, one-to-many. The way to do it one-on-one is simply to ask for the sale and then to counter any of the objections or the questions that they have. The way to do it one-to-many is in speaking or podcasting or broadcasting and getting people to close into coaching or consulting programs from there. 5th thing you need is a great delivery and a follow-up plan to get testimonials, ongoing sales, to get referrals and people who really love you and pay you on an ongoing basis. 6th thing, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6th thing you need is absolutely need a book. Then you need scripts and objection counters and forms and agreements, all of the things in your marketing consulting toolkit. And then finally, the 8th thing you need is a team. So before we move into the next section, Mike, let's go to the questions. What do you got?
All right, we've got some great questions, and also I know Mike Filsame is over here with some great
Mike
questions as well.
Filsame, so bam. I'm just catching up on chat, so what do we got?
Okay, well, there's a variety of them, but you go ahead, Mike. I know you've seen a bunch of them coming in.
Yeah, so Ed, you obviously have a lot to cover, so a lot of people are saying, repeat that. Some of the key ones were here as I put on my old man glasses. Can you repeat the "I'm assuming" line, and can you also repeat the question for the free lunch session?
So the "I'm assuming," there were 2 "I'm assuming" lines that I gave. There was one on price and there was one on questions. So I guess what I'll do is I'll do the one on price, which goes like this. So this is a yes before the yes. So again, here's the thing. I do consulting training over 3 days, and I put a lot of that training into 45 minutes, actually. It was almost exactly on the clock. And so I know I was going fast through a lot of that stuff, and that's the reason why I was just trying to get a lot of information in there. But for example, if somebody asked me about the price of my my consulting, and I've got a price, let's say I did it at $10,000, which was my example. Okay, the I'm assuming part, the reason assuming works so well is because when you say the word assuming, it doesn't lock you into something, it's just a question that's kind of out there. And so I would say something like, hey, right now, let's assume the person's name is John. So I'd say, hey, right now, John, we're at $10,000. I'm assuming if I could get you down, or I say if I could get you down to $1,000, or sorry, if I can get you down $1,000 to $9,000, I'm assuming you would be ready to move forward on the deals. Did you catch that? We're at $10,000, assuming I could get you down to $9,000. I'm assuming we would move forward on the deal. And it doesn't commit you, it just gets them to say yes. And the moment they say yes, you have a deal. Okay, so that's the first one. What was the second one?
The free lunch?
The free lunch question. Okay, so that's another I'm assuming question. So you would say, somebody would say, hey, could I take you to lunch to pick your brain? And you would just say, hey, John, I'd love to sit down and talk to you about a deal. I do this for a living. I'm assuming if we get together and we talk about a deal, you would be willing to move forward on a consulting deal together. Okay, what that does is it just gets rid of tire kickers who are like, no, I don't want to pay anyone. I just want free advice.
And here's why that works so well. It's because people feel like they have to remain congruent with what they said. They think of themselves, no matter what they are, that they're honest people. So if they're tire kickers, they're going to hem and they're going to haw, and you're going to know right away that you got someone that A, you don't want to work with, and B, who's not really serious. They just want to pick your brain and get a free consulting session, which is the antithesis of what you want. You want more time with your family and to work with people you love.
So the tell, if you're looking at body language, the tell on the tire kicker is their eyes start moving back and forth, left and right, to try to figure out a way to get free information out of you without paying. And the tell that someone's ready to pay you, I did this at an event about 4 years ago, and I said something similar to that line, and the guy put his hand on my shoulder and said these exact words. He said, "We are serious about paying you money to work with you." And I said, "I'm serious about going to lunch with you." So the point is, people will tell you if they're serious, and they will tell you by their facial expression that they're not.
Fantastic.
Okay.
All right, great.
I got a great question for you here. You're gonna love this one. All right. Aldo asks, how do you feel about the millennial mindset that all info should be free and they're unwilling to spend?
Well, here's the thing. They're clearly living with their parents in their or in their grandmother's basement and got a free college education and are working at probably are driving a car that their mom or dad bought for them and working at Starbucks.
I'll be nicer about this. Here's what I'll tell you. There is an amazing cultural case study happening right now. It's actually been going on for about the last 70 years.
It's called Bernie Sanders.
That's Bernie Sanders. That's good. Here's the cultural case study that's been happening in the world for 70 years, and you can see the results of it, and I'll tell you how I saw the result of it. So there's one big country called Korea, and there's a line right in the middle of it, and there's a north and there's a south. And the south decided that they were going to go forward with what we call a free market economy, and the north decided that they were going to move forward with what you would call a socialist economy, where basically people get paid not according to what they do, but just according to being there. Now, when you fly an airplane, which I did, F-18, over South Korea, what you see are there's lights everywhere, and then you see a line, and then it's just completely dark. And if you want to look at one country that's doing great in the Olympics, and one country that totally stinks at the Olympics, and one country that's great in the international commerce world, and one that doesn't, simply look at that case study and ask yourself which one works. Like, for example, you wouldn't go to Delta Airlines and you wouldn't say, hey, listen, you're going to Atlanta anyway. Can I just fly for free? See, they don't work on that because they got to pay people for gas. They got to pay the flight attendants so that they can hand out pretzels and peanuts and stuff like that. And so welcome to the free market economy. If you want to get in it and get going, you will get handsomely rewarded and you'll have a great time. And if you don't, there's probably some political candidates that will support you too.
All right. Well, I think that's really the bottom line summary is this. We do have a philosophy, which is be extremely charitable.
Yeah.
Both Ed and I tithe. We give away a chunk of our income every single year. And we have a rule, which is we don't try to make a business out of working with broken people. That's what charity is for. But if you're working with broken people, you'll wind up broken, and resentful. So we're giving you the strategies that allow you to compress time so you can get a lot more done in a shorter period of time. And we've got more coming up.
John McCabe, you need to go on the college tour and get that message out.
So I'll go on an anti-political level here. So on the crux of that question is how do you deal with the millennial mindset? I don't believe in that, Aldo, in terms of marketing. I think if you have a political view that, we can go down that rabbit hole. But when it comes to marketing, I think that if we really have to look at people as humans and there's human behavior, and people have pain and they have desires, and you have a product that can solve their product, all you have to do is do your traditional marketing, talk to people, let them know what you have to offer, how you can help them, how it'll solve their pain, give them more pleasure, and that there's a value. Everything that we do in marketing is always a scale. And if you can provide more value and show people through case studies and proof and testimonials and your own results that what you have can actually help them, then they would be crazy not to help you. So what you want to do is don't let that mindset get inside of you that, oh, I'm dealing with millennials, because we can talk about that any way you want. Baby boomers, they're old school, right? Or the elderly, maybe they don't have the money. We can try to find excuses for anything, but the truth is that there is a class of people that are ready to buy your coaching and your consulting, and if you can follow everything that Ed and Mike are sharing with you today, you probably won't even have any objections. They'll be ready to give you the money to get started as soon as you're finished.
Mike, Phil, same, everybody. So by the way, in fairness to Aldo, I don't think he was asking that question personally. I think he was talking about teaching millennials.
Of course.
I appreciate that.
And that's the deal. The truth is, there are great buyers in every generation, and I agree with Mike as well, is what we do is we help you identify who they are so you don't waste your time on the wrong people. And it's about asking great questions and then presenting your offer in a way that it's about them, not you. And again, this is all about language patterns. So speaking of that.
Speaking of the free market economy. So we're just going to do something that we have not done this. This is the first time we've done this. And there's a reason why you were invited to this webcast, and it's this. You're on Mike's list, or you're on my list, and we decided to show you something that we're going to be doing now for about the next 6 months to a year. And it's totally brand new, and it's super exciting.
Yeah.
And it's some stuff that you have never seen before, laid on some stuff that you have seen before, actually. And it also includes an opportunity to come here and work with us one-on-one. And so we're going to talk through that. But this stuff is totally new and revolutionary. If you've been a previous customer of ours, you've been through a certification program, or used a previous consulting program, you'll see some components that are similar, but you'll see overlaid some totally new stuff that is really exciting. So we want to talk about that. We want to invite you to come and work with us, and then we'll come back and we'll just take a bunch of questions,
because
we've got some really good questions that are coming in here.
So that's a great question. Is raise your hand if you'd like to spend a day with Ed and I, maybe. Okay, but go ahead, Ed. Ed's going to share with you something we've been working on and building and growing.
Yeah, and again, this is totally new. In fact, we did this as a very small group back just a couple months ago here in the office as a beta to run through this, and we've seen some crazy success. And I'm going to talk about this new program and what you get and how you can get involved. But like Mike said, we've got something coming that's just totally cool. We have never done this in this format before, and it involves you working with us. And I think you're going to be really surprised to see all that you get in this program. So let's talk through this first. First of all, you get everything in the new format, okay, which is all of our scripts, all of our forms, all the agreements. I'll walk through each of this stuff. In other words, we did the work for you. Think about it as the switches, the dials, and the late night work that I did in the cockpit, but now done in consulting, so that all you need to do is take the paper out and use it. You're going to save a bunch of time, save a bunch of money. Your learning curve is significantly going to go down. All that aggravation is going to go away, and you're going to have an instant solution to a problem that took us 10 years to build. All the Keynote, all the PowerPoint, all the Word documents, everything for you. We even wrote a book for you. We wrote a book for you, okay, just to show you how far we're willing to go to help you make money as a consultant. Plus, every question you need is answered inside of this system. Every objection we countered for you. There's just one thing left, and that's it. It's just you taking the system, using it, and sending us your success story. We told you maybe 4 or 5 of the stories of the people who have used a system that this was based on and the success that they've had. We have piles and piles of stories that we could tell you, story after story after deal, and now it's time for you to take your stand amongst those people and start getting paid what you're worth, and that's what this system will do for you when you implement it, we believe. Plus, you're going to make a bunch of money helping people, so let's get started. Listen, we didn't get an 87.5% success rate with our inaugural system by accident, because when you empower people to go for it and you get paid to helping people, they do it, okay? So this system that you get access to was originally taught over a period of 3 days here in San Diego with absolutely unprecedented success. Then we implemented it with nearly 1,000 people over a period of 2 years. Then we built it again, this time with even more additions, tweaks, enhancements, updates, and upgrades to make it even better. And this is the single most comprehensive, single most powerful system we believe on the planet for coaching, consulting, advising, and we're going to invite you to come in at a totally introductory deal, which is amazing, and come and work with Mike and I. In other words, the system absolutely works. We got the data to prove it. Now, here's what you get inside of this package. First of all, we get onto positioning. When we talk about positioning inside this system, we're going to show you how to get started fast and get instant positioning. It could take you years, 2 or 3 years, to build positioning using the methods that I taught you if you go the slow way. We're going to teach you how to rapidly do that so that you can save a bunch of time and get yourself positioned as the obvious expert in your industry, and you can do this in as little as a month. Positioning is what gets them to say yes to you, to be completely price resistant. It's what, if you remember Irene, when she said, I went from $500 to $5,000, that's positioning that gets you from $500 to $5,000. And we're going to show you how to do this near instantly so that you can become a go-to person in your niche without spending a bunch of time doing it. Okay, and so one of the ways we're going to do that is we're going to give you a book. In other words, we give you the fish in this system, but we also teach you to fish. And so I'm going to give you the rights to my digital marketing book, but even if you have a book, we're going to show you in positioning how to instantly get yourself positioned in a marketplace so people see you and they come to you and start paying you what you're worth, and we're totally just getting started. The second module inside the system is the pricing module. This is where we break down the pricing formulas one by one by one. Most coaches completely fail, most consultants or advisors fail right here because they lose out on price. And let me tell you, if you got into the system, all you did was watch 20 minutes, the first 20 minutes of the pricing formula, you would be able to get your money back, in my opinion, on this course simply because of the way you turn your pricing into something that works great for somebody that you're offering to, but also works great for you. Pricing is what gets you paid, okay? So the difference between a $2,500 deal and a $10,000 deal isn't in what you deliver, it's how you package it, how you price it, and how you offer it. And so you can see a significant decrease in your learning curve as you start to implement smart pricing. All right, so that's price. We're going to walk through all the 6 and show you which ones. We're going to show you examples of live deals, and then inside of what we call our proposal toolkit, which I'll talk about in just a second, we have all the deals broken down for you. So all you need to do is pull a Word document, add your name, change the top of it, change the bottom, and send it out and start to close deals. In other words, like I said, we teach you to fish, but we give you the fish. We do the work for you so that you can start making deals right now. Listen, there's a reason why people come into our system and come out and close deals within 2 weeks. We've had people actually come into our live training and actually close deals during lunch on the first day of the live training. There's a reason for that. It's because the tools work. It's because they flat out work, okay? And so all you need to do is take it out, use it, and see the results, and we're gonna teach you how to do that. The third thing we're gonna give you is the present module. And this is where you start to reveal all the prospects' strengths and weaknesses. So we give you a little over 30 X-ray questions. These are questions you can pull out. You can walk into a proposal meeting with a prospective client and you can simply ask questions. You don't even need to talk about yourself. You simply need to go down the list. And we've had our students literally take it out of the manual, walk into the meeting and start asking through the questions and see themselves closing a deal right at the end of that because of really, really good questions, okay? This is where the system really starts to become that systematized strategy that I told you about dogfights, where it's just all the buttons, all the dials, and it's step by step, and you'll see success when you start to implement it, okay? So now, 4th step is pitch. Okay, now this is really where the rubber just absolutely hits the road. And in my opinion, even this, if you just listen to the first 20 minutes of this segment, you're gonna get your investment back because we give you word for word scripts. Listen, there's no reason for us to just teach it to you and send you off to tell you how to be successful. We give it to you, and you've seen probably 8 or 9 or 10 or 12 examples just in this presentation that you can use word for word. All you simply need to do is read through it a few times, practice it once or twice, go into a meeting. It doesn't need to be perfect, but you need to have the general gist of it. And so I'll give you word for word, how to present and justify your price, how to counter any objection, and how to ask for the sale without being salesy or pushy, how to do it conversationally. Again, remember, this system is based completely off of a very conversational approach where you're like talking to somebody because they're a real person, and they're talking to you back because you're a real person. Okay, it's not pushy, it's not manipulative, it's just a way of communicating with somebody. We're going to teach you how to do that word for word. Okay, in other words, you can be 100% congruent, you can be exactly who you are, you don't have to turn into someone else, and you can still get paid. Okay, in fact, when you do this, the client will actually feel like you're not charging them enough, and that's the frames that we typically set up with the questions that we ask, and you'll see the magic of this in the system. Now, inside of this module, I'll also show you how to speak if you want to. Okay, you don't have to. The system works great without that, but if you have the courage to be able to stand up in front of people and help people with their problem, okay, you're going to have an amazing success. And listen, speaking is one of the fastest ways to build or multiply your income. It's super easy to find places to speak, even locally, okay, and position yourself as an expert. Like, for example, I'm going to be doing that here in San Diego with a local marketing group. Just walk in there and start sharing, and next thing you know, I'll be getting clients out of that when you use the words properly. And so again, not only do I teach you how to get those deals and how to speak, we give you the forms on how to book those speaking engagements, but I'm going to give you a word-for-word outlines for 5 different presentations and the PowerPoint and the keynotes for all that stuff so that you can get it done. Okay, inside a pitch, we're going to arm you for success. You're going to get 5 speech outlines, scripts, and presentation in both Keynote and PowerPoint format so that you can stand up on stage and close any deal from the stage. Okay, think about this. You're going to be able to pull these out, put them in your computer, fill in a couple of blanks, stand up and speak using the formula that we gave you. This is going to save you a ton of time. Not only is it going to save you a bunch of money, but think about it. You could spend 3, 5, 10 years learning how to stand up and speak, or you could just fall into a system that's already prepared for you, and you can get out there and start speaking like you've been doing it for years because you're basing it on a system that's been working for years, okay? And this will work for you. Listen, even if the last time you spoke was Mrs. Potter's 6th grade English class, because it's a system. Remember, switches and dials, it's just a system of switches and dials that will absolutely work for you when you implement it. Now, attendees have told us that just the speaking section alone was worth the entire investment in the program. At the very least, after watching this module, you'll never look at another speaker ever again. So imagine, just for a minute, that you've got all the words, you've got all the scripts, you've got all the formulas, you've got all the proposals, you've got all the templates. Think about what that would do for you in terms of your confidence, your courage, your ability to go right out right now and close a deal. You've got everything taken care of for you. Things that took us 10 years to build, and doing it the right way, doing it the wrong way, and finding out what works. You can get access to this instantly when you invest in the system that I'm talking about, okay? And if you don't like standing on stage, okay, even if you think you're terrified, I'm gonna write your speech outline for you, and you're gonna see step by step how to build an incredible speech. Now, this outline that I write, some of you are asking about what to write in a book. Like, there was a question that came in, what should I write in a book? The outline that I build for a speech works for books, it works for blogs, it works for podcasts, it works for interviews, it works for anything and everything, including infomercials. When you have this outline, you can use it anywhere so that people will come to you and close deals. It's super, and you'll love it, okay? And we'll move on to the next thing, which is produce. The 5th step, we'll show you exactly what to do to keep your clients happy. Again, much like the previous steps, like in Present, we give you 30 questions. In Price, we give you all the scripting to counter objections. We give you all the words, all the presentations, all the formats, all the Word documents. We do the same thing here. So we give you the script on how to get referrals. We give you the words to say to get testimonials. You don't have to make it up and feel weird about it. We give you everything so that you can do it. It's all fill in the blanks. We're going to teach you how to get clear on expectations with a client, how to deliver great recommendations to your client, and then how to get ongoing deals, which is the bread and butter of the system, okay? Now, if you learn better by watching, listening, or reading, we have you covered either way. The system comes as an action book. It comes as videos in a private membership site that you get immediate access to today. Plus, you get it in MP3 downloadable format so that you can listen, maybe on your way to work or back and forth in your car to a client meeting, okay? It's organized, easy to follow. You get detailed notes. You get action worksheets. So think about this. All you need to do is pull it out, okay, so that you can go and use this to just simply close a deal once you've gotten into the system, which is awesome, okay? Every module we transcribe, broke into an easy format, and we created MP3 audios just like we talked about. So where are we at so far? You get all 5 modules inside of this new program called Consultant Profit. You get position, price, present, pitch, and produce. Each of those modules alone, by the way, is worth the entire investment in the system when you pull it out and you're willing to use even one or two of the scripts that we wrote for you. Plus, you get transcriptions, actions book, audios of every single model. Listen, that's enough, but we're gonna give you a whole bunch more, and here it comes, all right? A bunch of bonuses. First of all, we're gonna give you a bonus that's called the Proposal Toolkit. I am absolutely in love with this bonus. I'm in love with it so much that I use this on a very regular basis. Okay, this is all the forms, all the scripts, all the proposals, everything you need inside of a consulting business. We wrote it all for you, so you don't have to write it yourself. You literally have to change the name at the bottom of the email and use it, and you're done. Okay, this is a complete package, so you can get started closing deals once you receive the system. You can take the system, send it out, and start closing deals as soon as this week, as long as you're starting to use the system that we're giving you. Okay, here's some things that you're going to get. All the hard work's been done for you, that you save years of mistakes and lost time with pre-written proposals, contracts, presentations, agreements. We have everything written inside. Change the name, send it out, and get paid. It's amazing, but so many consultants get interest from prospects and then they never follow up, or the proposal's horrible, and then they lose a deal that they think that they closed. You're going to completely avoid that inside of the Proposal Toolkit because of what we prepared for you. Here's some examples of stuff that's in there. We give you, where did I go? Hang on. We give you an appointment setting script, an email to confirm an appointment, an email to send after a proposal, an outbound calling script, an email to schedule a speaking event. Okay, we give you a letter to send with your book or to a speaking event, a video script to create on a sales page, a lead page script, a book, script to follow up when you send a book to someone, and a bunch more. Again, think of it as all the emails, all the scripts, all the templates already written for you, so that you can just pull them out or copy and paste off a Word document, dump it right into your Gmail, and go. Think about this. How long would it take to build all of those things in the back end? If you were to start a consulting business right now, I'll tell you how long it took me. It took me about 10 years to put all this stuff together, and that's making a bunch of mistakes and doing that. We took what was best, we put it in the system to knock about 10 years off your learning curve and to start adding zeros to your income. And think about what you're gonna be able to do once you get the system and download it, and still, we're totally just getting started right now. We've got 5 consulting models totally done for you. Now remember, we talked about giving you the fish and then teaching you to fish, and we're doing both inside of the system. So those 5 consulting models, book marketing, strategic advisor, all the things that I mentioned, we've got each of those broken down, and in each one of those, you get a proposal, you get an agreement, you get a PowerPoint, and you get a keynote template built for you with the entire offer, plus you get a training on how to offer each one of those things. So if you have no idea how to offer a book deal, you can just pull it out and use it. If you have no idea how to offer a product deal, you can just pull it out and use it. We have it all written for you, all the objections countered, okay, all the things that you're gonna deliver. If you wanna get started consulting right now, you have no idea where to start, you now have a done for you proposal, done for you agreement, done for you keynote, done for you PowerPoint, in all 5 models, including like book marketing consultant, strategic advisor, which is the one that Mike and I do, digital marketing consultant, product marketing consultant, video and webcast marketing, everything included for you. So where are we at? We've got all 5 modules: position, price, present, pitch, produce, the transcripts, the action book, the MP3s, and then everything you need to run a seamless consulting business written for you, including the scripting, the emails, the proposals and agreements. Just stop for a minute and think, how much is this worth to you right now to have everything done for you inside of a comprehensive system? Not only the training, but also the tools, but also the book, but also the scripts, but also the proposals, all the emails. Listen, if you just invested in this course and just used the Proposal Toolkit and the emails that we give you, it would be worth it. It would save so much time off your learning curve. You'd be able to make a whole bunch more money simply when you implement this fast step, but we're not even there. We still got a bunch more bonuses. Now, one of the bonuses is a program that we call Click Convert. You might be asking, like, okay, I got it, but how do I get leads to a new website? Or how do I get people, once they come to my website or to a client's website, to actually opt in or actually to go and take the next step and buy? Okay, so we have a program inside this called Click Convert, which is going to teach you how to gather leads and convert new customers using what we call drag and click technology. This is ClickFunnels, but we're going to show you how to use ClickFunnels as a consultant to either do this on behalf of your consulting client, or to do it for yourself so that you can help them gather new leads and get new clients, or you can do it for yourself. It's just a bonus inside of the system that will accelerate you, but you could be able to use this, pull this right out, simply learn it, and then take it and implement it and charge more than this system, the entire system costs, just by implementing this, and that's the first bonus. Second bonus is a program that we call Money Phone. This is a 2-minute video close. You're gonna see how Mike and I are closing 5-figure deals simply by videos off of our phone. Now listen, marketing has completely changed. Like in the last year, all of the people that we're connected to in the marketing world have told us that things have completely changed, and we've experienced that on our end as well. And so we sent in an email that we sent out earlier this week. If you've been experiencing that, like, this year's harder, it's harder to get money, it's harder to get paid, it's harder to close deals, harder to get customers, well, welcome to the club. Everyone is experiencing that right now, and that's because the market has shifted. And there's a way to use new technology, like, for example, your mobile phone, like, for example, text messaging, like, for example, video or webcasting, to connect to your market in a way that you couldn't do it even a year ago. And so we're going to show you some of that new stuff, including what we call Money Phone. Okay, if all you did is jump into this system and use Money Phone to close a $5,000 or a $10,000 deal, you paid for the entire system simply because of one strategy. And just imagine that. Imagine what it would be like to get paid right now like $5,000 or an extra $10,000. What would that do for you? What would that do for your business? What would that do for your life or your income? What would you do with that? Would you pay off some debt? Would you pay off a college loan? Would you just go and have a really good time with the extra $10,000 that you just made in that deal? That's what you can do when you implement the things that we're talking about inside of the system. Okay, third bonus is what we call FBAM, or Facebook Ad Mastery. Some of you have been asking, hey, how do we get on Facebook? How do we advertise on Facebook? Some of you want to do it for your clients. Some of you want to do it for yourself as a consultant. We're going to show you how to do both of them. Right now, no better lead source in our opinion than Facebook. In fact, Mike and I both went on Facebook Live before this show to talk to some of you who came here because of your time on Facebook Live, and we're going to do a training to show you how to use the best lead generating system on the planet. And imagine that. Imagine what it would be like to just get another 50, 100 leads for you or a client, and what it would be like to get paid $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 simply because you implemented a small training that we did. That's the kind of stuff that we have inside of this system. Listen, you can use it or not use it. These bonuses are just extra. So you may be saying, I don't need to use Facebook, I don't want to use Facebook, I'm going to be a strategic advisor. Fine, just watch it, and you may find that you're going to be better informed to help a consulting client when you do that. Okay? Fourth thing you're going to get, and you can see, by the way, if you've been in a previous program with us, you can see this is totally new stuff, a new program that we call 2 in, 10 out. So how to put 2 hours in and get 10 customers out. I'm going to show you how to use private message, personal text, and email to start to fill online or offline events. I did this back in September. Just as a total test, I ended up putting 55 people in a room in only 2 weeks. Actually 2 weeks of 1 hour a day for 2 straight weeks, put 55 people in a room simply using the 2 in, 10 out method that we're going to teach you. So if you want to fill online events, you want to fill live events, that usually takes 6 months to put people in. I'm going to show you how to use individual, personalized approach to marketing to simply fill out events. And think about that. Imagine what it would be like to be able to show up and have 50, 100 people, 150 people in an event where you could teach and then offer consulting at the end of that. I'm going to show you how to do that inside of the system. And again, the market's completely changed, so it's time for you to change with it. And then the other bonus, before we get to the really big bonus, is this. You're going to get a license to use my book. So we took my marketing book, that #1 best-selling book, we put a bunch of blanks in it where all the legal terminology was so that you can fill in the market that you're in. So just fill in a few blanks, write a little bit of an introduction, create a cover, and bam. We've had people do this and become #1 bestsellers on Amazon, and you can do it too. So if you have a book, you're good. If you don't have a book, again, we try to take care of everything for you and do all the work for you so that all you need to do is fall in on the system that we've provided for you inside of Consult and Profit, okay? And the sixth bonus, or bonus number 7, is our event that we're doing in December. Mike, you want to talk about that real quick?
Sure can. All right, so this is December 6th through 8th, and we can actually put up the picture again just for a moment. But here's what we're going to be doing. It's going to be Ed and I teaching you our best and most effective strategies. We're primarily focusing on leveraging and using live interactive online video to build and grow your business, engage with clients, and be able to charge not only a lot of money for them, but also how to build your own list and audience as well. So what you can expect is networking. A huge part of our community is our community. It's where we learn. It's where we serve you. It's a chance for us to shake hands, get to know, and meet each other. But it is a fantastic environment where we're going to just get busy and network, and we're also going to teach you some of our most effective pitching and closing techniques as well. So that's what you can expect at the event.
Bam! All right, so where are we at? Hang on. I'll get there. That's the part where we get 2 tickets.
All right.
All right, now, this is the last one. Okay, so we've been talking about this the entire time. So Mike and I decided to to do something completely different and very special. If you've been with us for years, 10, 15 years, you'll see we haven't done this before ever in this setting, and we're gonna invite you to do something really, really cool. We just decided to do this week, and it's super exciting, and this is the extra bonus, and let me tell you, this is worth the entire program in my opinion right here, okay? This is our biggest bonus yet. It actually is, in my opinion, the biggest and best bonus we've ever created, and it's this. You get a live small group in training with Mike and I. Now, here's the deal. Inside of our studio, we have a fire code, and it's not a made-up fire code. It's a real fire code that, like real fire marshals, actually come into our office and actually check out, okay? And we can bring in 15 students, okay? What that means is we could go to a hotel and bring in 50, 100, 150, 200 people if we wanted to. What we decided to do is make it really small and intimate and bring you right into the studio with us for a one-day 15-person training, and it's just us, okay? So it's gonna be a really small group. You're gonna be able to get your questions answered. We're gonna be closing deals right here. We're gonna be teaching you how to use Facebook. We're gonna be showing you how to use text marketing. We're gonna be showing you how to close a deal right inside of the training. It's gonna be awesome, and it's gonna be small, and it's gonna be intimate. We only have a few dates set aside because we want to work with you. Now, we have never done this. The prices where we start are in-studio training. We're talking about 20, 25, 30 person trainings in other studios where we were doing them for $4,000 or $5,000, okay? And those were big groups. We're talking about a small group. We haven't done this before at all, and it's gonna be a blast, okay? So you get small group coaching with Mike and I in a really intimate 15 person group. This bonus is absolutely so cool. You're here, and listen, we're gonna be here to work with you. So you've been to trainings probably before where you showed up and the guru guy was there and for like an hour and then he went off and played golf. That's not this training, right? Mike and I are here to work with you, to look you in the eye and to work with you personally, one-on-one, and as a group to get you to your marketing marketing objectives and goals, okay? So here's some of the things that we'll be doing in the training. We're gonna be doing things like lead generation, follow-up, mobile marketing, Facebook marketing, funnel creation, pitching and closing, coaching and masterminding, how to do your own events, trade shows. So for example, if you've ever wanted to do your own event or trade show, when you come in here, we're gonna talk to you about how to do that, how to build that, how to put people into an event, maybe how to do Facebook marketing behind that. We're gonna be talking about Facebook Live or YouTube live streaming, webcasts, and webinars. You're gonna get a tour of our entire studio right here, and we're gonna show you, in fact, we're gonna be doing actually Facebook Live during the training and certain parts of the training, simply to demonstrate what's working now on one of the biggest and most powerful platforms on planet Earth, which is Facebook Live. We're gonna talk about how to set up a studio. We'll show you our studio inside here, but also how you can set up your own, or how to present and perform on video. In fact, we'll probably put you right in front of the camera so that you can practice right here on video, or interviewing strategies, or celebrity branding strategies, or product creation, or podcasting, publicity, book publishing, marketing automation, outsourcing, and so much more. Listen, we get tons of questions via email or even online, and so many that we can't answer, but this is your opportunity to come in and spend an entire day with Mike and I to really roll up your sleeves and get personal about your business and get the help that you want and need in your business, okay? So this is it. Now, we've got dates set out over the next 6 months. So for example, if you can't come to the training that's coming up here in 2 months, that's fine. You can do the one right after that. You can pick your date, but we'd love for you to come and work with us one-on-one and intimately. And I don't know how long this bonus will last. We have certain dates set aside, so the numbers are very, very limited, and there will come a point at which we just won't do those. But since you are our family, and since you are the first people to see this offer, we're opening this up for you so that you can get in before we run out of spots, which is totally cool, okay? Listen, the bonus alone is way worth more than the whole system combined. Past in-studio events have gone for $5,000 or more, and that's real actual money that people have really actually paid to come in groups of that size right here into this studio. Look, Mike and I do private coaching typically at $30,000 together per day. Okay, so this is a really, really, really awesome deal. Now, you need to register now. We've limited this to the first 100 people, and we're going to show you where you can do that in just a second. Now, summary real quick of everything that you get. First, you get all 5 modules: position, price, present, pitch, produce, the transcripts. That alone is worth the investment in the system, but we add more, which is everything you need to run a successful consulting business. Scripts, forms, proposals, agreements, everything's added in. You get bonus number 1, which is the 5 done-for-you consulting models. Bonus number 2, click convert. Bonus number 3, Facebook marketing. Bonus number 4, money phone. Bonus number 5, 2 in and 10 out. My goodness, this is getting to be everything you need inside of a system. We packed it all in here. In fact, even if you don't go through the bonuses, you'll have all the value back just from what you got right here. Done for you book. The book is written for you. Shoot, you could pay $10,000 to a ghostwriter to write a book. We give that to you. Go Live and Profit event, the live event in December. Plus you get to come in here in San Diego and get coached with Mike and I. Think about this. I taught you the things you need in your toolkit: positioning tool, pricing, presenting, pitching, great delivery follow-up plan, a book, scripts, objections, and finally, a team and a wingman. Look at that. Everything that I told you need inside of your toolkit is provided for you inside of this system and a whole bunch more. So let's get to how you can invest in it right now. So all this immediately comes to you in a downloadable membership site. So the moment that you enroll, you're going to get a link into our membership site and community so that you can start working on your phone, your iPad, on demand, on your computer, tablet, anywhere, so that you can start getting this stuff done and you can start closing deals. My challenge to you is be the first to send us a success story or an agreement of a closed deal. You can do this, okay? Each module's short, so you can go through the program pretty quickly. You can start making money like right now when you start pulling out the tools in the system. Now, last thing, you might be thinking, okay, what's the price, right? So what is it, like $10,000, $15,000, $20,000? That's what we charge to do consulting. So how much is it when we put all the stuff together? Let's talk about this. Okay, the investment in this program is simple. It's just $3,997. Now think about all the things that you get. The scripts, the forms, the presentation tools, the templates. You get the book, you get all the coaching, plus you get to come in and work one-on-one with Mike and I inside of the studio. For this is a total no-brainer. Listen, the bottom deal that I'm going to teach you to do in the system, the bottom deal is a $5,000 deal. That's the bottom, okay? And that's what we typically see when people start out. If all you do, just imagine this for a second, if all you do is just make $5,000, you got an amazing training, you came and spent a day with Mike and I in the studio, you got all the tools, all the forms, everything for a successful business, and you walked away with $1,000 profit. If all you did was one deal, but if you're like a lot of our students and go out and close $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 deals, you've got all of that to keep, plus the training and the know-how behind it. But check it out. What we're going to do for you is we're not even going to keep it at the regular price of $39.97, even though we could. This would be an amazing deal for this program. And again, we've sold our studio days for more than that. We're actually going to drop that in half, okay? So this is the actual price for you right now on this webcast, and a link where you can go to buy this, which is this. It's just 3 investments of $727 or a single investment of $19.97. Now, is that a deal or is that a deal? Think of all the things that you get, the book, the marketing program, all the scripts, all the forms, all the proposals, everything, including time with Mike and I. You get all of this for just under $730 or $19.97. So the place to go is either this website, yen.tv/CAP, which stands for Consultant Profit, so yen.tv/CAP, or where do they click the link if they want to go? Right to the right, right down here on your right-hand side is a link that says Get In Right Now. And listen, the numbers of the people that can come into the studio are limited, okay? And we're going to be taking those on first come, first serve. So we're going to know who invested in the program first. So listen, push that button now, check out the page, scroll down to the bottom, choose your investment option. You can do either one of these. It's totally fine, whichever one you want to do. Choose your investment option and get inside of the system fast. And Mike and I are going to stick around and just answer your questions here as we go. So a couple things before we wrap it up. Think about this. It just takes one deal. One actually small deal. You only have to do a deal for $2,000 to cover the price of this entire program. Listen to me. That is a no-brainer. When you get inside of the system, I'm just going to challenge you to do this. When you get in the system, take the lessons inside of the course. They're really short, 20 or 30-minute courses. Take it, okay? If you're not walking away closing a $2,000 deal out of this program, you send it back, okay? And you're going to get a refund, because here's the thing. I'm going to teach you to do $5,000 deals. So think about that for a minute. Imagine what it would be like to make $5,000 right now. Now imagine what it would be like to make $5,000 every single month on an ongoing deal or a new deal for $5,000, just 5. That's the lowest one that I'm going to teach you. $5,000 every single month for a full year. What is that? $60,000. Picture right now what an extra $60,000 would do for your life, for your business, for your family. Look, that's like a house payment or 2 house payments, depending on what you have. That's like 5 car payments. That's paying off some debt. That's a really nice vacation after 2 months. Maybe you just want to invest in your kids' college. Maybe you just want to take a breath of fresh air and go, I'm finally moving forward instead of sliding backwards. That's the difference coaching and consulting can make for you right now, but you need to take the step forward and you need to invest in yourself. And when would now be like the best time to start investing in yourself and to start gaining traction on that? Now, some of you might be asking, you've been in a previous program with us, a certification program or a previous consulting program, and you might be asking about that. Listen, here's the deal. This program that includes Mike and I training is already discounted at 50% off. So this is an amazing deal for you, and we want you to come here. We want you to come and work with us, and your link is right here. Okay, yen.tv/CAP. Now's the time to invest in this program for you too. This has all the new things that you need and want inside of your consulting business. But think about it. Based on our survey, we see people doing $4,000 or $5,000 deals. Think about what you could do. That's twice your investment or more that you come back, and all you need to do is simply follow the lead of the people who've been in the system, and everything else is yours to keep. Like Jim House, who I introduced you to, who's closing $5,000 or $35,000 deals. Just imagine, by the way, for a minute, what a $35,000 deal would do for you or your life. By the way, that's a 7 times return on your investment, which is not possible in the stock market right now, I can tell you that much. And that's just getting started for when you implement the system, in my opinion. Okay, now, last thing, we take all the risk as usual. You got 30 days, okay? So here's the thing. This is my challenge to you. Get in the system, pull out the agreement, implement it, close the deal. If you haven't closed the deal within 30 days of at least $2,000 and made all your money back in the course, send the thing back. Okay, send the whole thing back. You'll get a full refund, and we can still be friends. It's just the way that we do business because we want you to be totally satisfied. So listen, all the risks on us. It's all on us. All you need to do is push the button below over here to the right, or go to yen.tv/CAP. You can use these in your business. You can use them in your client's business. You can charge whatever you want. You can keep all the money. We don't take royalties or franchise fees. It's absolutely all yours when you take action, and we're looking forward to having you inside of the system as a person that takes action. The only thing we ask in return is really simple. When you start closing deals, do what Jim and Irene and all of our friends have done, which is send us in a picture of your agreement or proposal so we can tell the world about your success, okay? And we can help you grow your business in the meantime, okay? By my calculations, your success is right around the corner when you implement and take action now. Shoot, if all you do is close a $2,000 consulting deal, you're gonna start seeing the money rolling in, and you're gonna get your investment back, and you can do this in your spare time. All right, so Mike?
All right, well,
back to you.
The comments and the feedback we're getting is awesome. I know Andy just said they're putting what they have taught me over 4 years in one program, which was, thank you for that, Andy. Really, really love it. And Irene just said, I'm forever grateful. Thanks again for that. And also, this is fantastic. Let's see. Oh yeah, Barry just said he's in. Thank you for that, Barry.
Barry,
welcome
back.
to have you in.
Kenny as well.
Kenny too?
Yeah, Kenny said I'm in.
All right, fantastic. So if you're in, just say I'm in. And remember that what's great about this, and this is really, really important. I'm going to show you a couple important things just to wet your whistle a little bit. Now, I printed these out. The entire program is digital, so you get immediate access to the entire program. And look, you can digest this whole thing. And what's important is not only do you get the videos, you get audios if you prefer to learn by listening, but you also get everything as PDFs. So you can download, you can watch, you can print them out, which is what I did here. Again, this is a 100% digital product. But I want to just show you one of the things that we've done for you, just so you get an idea here.
Just so you know, you're seeing this in chat, by the way. So D is in, Jefferson just enrolled. Ren Ganathan, look, I'll tell you, by the time we're done working together here in the studio, I promise you I will be pronouncing your first name perfectly, okay? And I'm looking forward to meeting you in the studio.
You get to come here
Terry's
and work
in,
with us, okay?
Chris is in, Gio's in. Okay, so here's the thing. Come here to San Diego and work one-on-one with Mike. For those of you who have been with us, like I see Andy and Denise and so many people who have been with us for years, okay? We haven't done a bonus like this ever.
Nope.
You come here in a group of 15. The last time
people at a time.
The last time
for
we
a whole
did this,
day.
it was $6,000. Okay, to come in here to train with Mike and I. We're going to do this as a bonus, as a part of this program, which is already worth way more than $2,000.
Right on.
Awesome. By the way, some great questions that are coming in, and we're going to answer
do some
those.
more questions.
So
okay.
good.
But I did want to show you
the
this. So for all 5 modules, here's what you can expect. Again, these are all PDFs. They're digital downloads, so you have access to them right away. We give you a pre-made, pre-done keynote presentation that follows our strategic sales formula, okay? That you can fill in the blanks and replace it with your own pictures and your own information, okay? So you've got that. You've got the proposal that you can also send out to your client, okay? We give you the contract. So again, you want to have your own attorney review it, but it's done, okay? It's step by step, okay? So every single business model we give you, and if you want to use it for a different model, what's important is this model, this strategy will work for you. But also, I want to show these to you too. When Ed talked about all the bonuses, again, all these are included. They're 100% digital. everything is available as a transcript that you can download and you can use, okay? Everything's available for you to listen to, read, or watch. So the follow-up booking call, okay? That's the module right there, scripted. You just listen to or watch Ed teach you this, or you can read it, but it's all done for you, okay? This is like a copy-paste business, okay? Appointment setting scripts, appointment confirmation emails, lead page script template. In other words, exactly what to say on your lead page so you sound like a total pro. You've got all the follow-up emails you need. Outbound call script if you're going to talk with people over the phone. Now remember, we're also teaching you how to do this with mobile text and mobile video also. Your schedule and speaking event script, okay? It's how to get booked. Okay, book with your book letter. In other words, if you're going to use Ed's book or a book of your own, it's how to get booked to speak, okay? And then also speaking outlines. So step-by-step, ABC, 1, 2, 3, and again, it doesn't matter if you're a beginner or an advanced person. It doesn't matter what industry or business you're in. Today, when I was talking to John Asraf, he said, I'm in, I want it, and he got it. Because he's practicing right now for his next webinar and webcast, and he's looking for every single unfair advantage he can get. Because just again, think about it. For the small investment, you can get started for as little as $727. You can be inside this program using it, and you get to come here and spend some time with Ed and I so we can work even further. So who else is in?
All right, so I heard from Lewis, she's in. Fran just said she's in. So welcome. Thank you, Andy, for your nice comment. That's super. I've got a question that pertains, I think, to everyone who is listening, which is this. Bob says, hey, does the course cover how to land strategic advisor deals versus deals where you have to do the work? So Bob, remember the system works like this. We're going to teach you how to fish, but we're going to give you the fish too. So everything that we teach you, we give you the forms, the scripts, the proposals, the handouts, the tools and stuff. And so we have a module inside of what we call the proposal toolkit where there are 5 business models broken down for you. Each one of those has a training where I actually walk through the deal. I talk to you about the common objections in each deal, what you typically deliver in each deal, how to present each deal, and then we give you the proposal, and then we give you the agreement, and then we give you the keynote or the PowerPoint, whichever one you use so that you can go out and close the deal. So what you're going to do is you're going to get into the system right now. You're going to go to the section inside of Proposal Toolkit that talks about being a strategic advisor. You're going to watch that module. It's about a 20-minute module, and I would highly recommend watching the 15-minute overview module for that section. And once you do that, you're going to have what you need to be able to go out and close that deal. And then all you need to do is go do it, counter some objections or answer some questions, and then send us this screenshot of your deal so that we can tell you. And my challenge to you is this. You're going to come here to San Diego. You're going to work with Mike and I. We've got those dates that are set out over the next 6 months, and we will be publishing those. The reason we're not doing it live right now is because this webcast may be used later on. We don't want to say the dates actually on the show, but we've got them set aside. And so we're going to give you the dates. You're going to schedule your time to come in and work with Mike and I. But my challenge to you is go close a deal right now. And listen, the distance between you and getting paid when you get into the system, there's systems that you'll get into where you have to learn the whole thing, then you have to build a website and start getting leads and then start to get the traffic.
Not with ours.
Not in months. Look, if you wanted to open up a dry cleaners or brick and mortar, you're gonna like build the building, get the material. It takes time. The distance in between action and actually getting paid in consulting can be super small. Okay, if I wanted to, which I probably should do, right now I could use my phone, open up, make a call, close a deal. And that's what we're going to teach you how to do. And so you could be making money in as soon as like tomorrow, the next day. And we have actually had students who have done that, who have taken the system, they downloaded it, they started learning the system, they went out that night, closed the deal, sent us their success story.
We've had people in as little as a day. That's exactly right.
$4,160 deal from a guy named Chris, who was a former Marine actually, who actually took the system and used it. We've had people on site who've done it. So my challenge to you and everyone, so many different people who are telling us that they're in.
Okay.
My challenge is get it and close the deal and break the record.
But do it now because they are selling out right now. We are selling out. You can see the people who are saying they're in, and Ed and I have allocated 100 slots right now for our one-on-ones. There's only a certain amount of time that we have available because we're out speaking, presenting, and also coaching in addition to building business. So we are running out of slots. So make sure you sign up right now to get inside here. Remember, you can get in for as little as $727. $197. So
This is great.
what's it like to
just
close
one
the
comment
deal?
that I want to answer this, but one comment we just put underneath. Can't wait to get to San Diego. Mike inspired me 4.5 years ago to launch my helicopter online ground school. I keep breaking monthly sales records and ready to really blow it out of the water. Kenny, thank you for that comment. Super excited to have you come in here on the training. Start thinking about adding zeros to your current income because that's the direction that we're going to teach you in. Ask your question.
So here's what it was. Mike feels same. I know you've got something that you wanted to share, so go for it.
Absolutely. So guys, I've gone through your stuff. I've worked with you before. Guys, I want to let you know I've used this. I once made a promise to myself, one of the stupidest promises in the world, that I would never do consulting or coaching. It was one of these things after reading Rich Dad, Poor Dad about never selling your time for money, but I never realized how crazy that was when the opportunity was to sell your time for $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, or $25,000. So I was with Mike and Ed a couple of months back, and they were going over some of these techniques. And so I said, okay, I'm gonna eliminate this barrier that I put up, this fake wall that says I'm not gonna sell my time for money. It was one of the stupidest things that I ever did, and I want you to think, even if you're never considered coaching or consulting, there is a need. You'll notice so many times in your business when people say things to you, hey, can I pick your brain? Those are little telltale signs that people have what you want, and you'd be surprised what they would be willing to pay for hand-holding. Hand-holding in coaching and consulting is amazing, and people will pay astronomical numbers. So I said, okay, I know the number I'm gonna say to you guys is gonna sound big, and I know I have a brand online, but this is to let you know what I've thrown away. And these numbers can be any multiple of what I say here, lower or higher. So I was at a mastermind at a mastermind session. There was about 100 people in the room, and I did a presentation. And at the end of the presentation, somebody came up to me and said, "Hey, Mike, can I buy you lunch? I'd like to pick your brain." And I remember what Ed had told me. It was a little joke. He had said, Mike, when people are saying that, you got to remember that they're saying that, hey, I know that people get $1,000 an hour for your time, so I'd like to get a, quote, free lunch, right? So I used some of the techniques that they had, and as soon as I did that, the person said, yeah, tell me, give me your plans and what you can do. And I said, okay, here's what I'm going to do, because I didn't want to negotiate in person. And it's not something that I recommend you negotiate in person. Always tell people, okay, I'll get back to you immediately with an email, and get it back right away. And Ed and Mike can tell you some of the techniques that you get in the email to get the response. I didn't want to give a price to the person up front, because then you never know what their face is going to say. They might just have to check with their partner or whatever. So I said, I'm going to get you an email, and here's what I did. I gave a 1 day for $15,000 and a 2-day session for $25,000, and they would fly me out, all expenses paid, put me up in a hotel, and within 5 minutes of me sending this email, they replied back and said, $25,000, where do we send the wire? And within 3 days, I was on a plane consulting for them. And what's great, even better than the $25,000 that I got from it, is they got such great results from what I was able to give. I feel bad that I had this wall that says I'm never going to do coaching and consulting again. It's some of the most, not only the easiest money that I've ever made, but some of the money that I felt so good about when they were shaking my hands and saying, I cannot wait to implement this. And then they're texting me saying, we just did $380,000 with our event. I was like, okay, well, they got their money back. I feel great. So this is something I would never have done, and that was just a couple of techniques I learned from Mike and Ed. This program, as I said, it's a $4,000 program. They're doing it for the VIPs. This is Mike and Ed's list. You're getting $2,000 off. You get it today for $19.97. You get to get started, I think, for $797 if you take the 3 payment plan. $727. So that's the way to go. Money back guarantee. You see everybody blowing up the chat saying how great some of these programs are. They've got new stuff they're putting in here, and from what you guys are doing with these live events, to coaching the consultants in the day in the studio here, guys, I'm completely blown away. From what I heard there, it is limited, so make sure you get in, and I'm going to turn it back over to these guys. And a little bonus, I'm going to sneak in the studio the days that they're going to be doing this, so I'll be here as well, and I'll be at the live events as well, and I look forward to meeting you guys. So that's my case study with you guys.
Mike, Phil, same, everybody. Yeah. Thank you for that, man.
This is
I
super
could listen
exciting.
to Mike all day long.
And we want to do a shout out here because we've got so many registrations. So get in there before we run out of the 100 slots. But we also want to just say thank you to Dr. Emma Jean, who's watching us right now. It's so nice to see you.
I want to say, so people use this phrase a lot. They go, honestly. And I don't use the word honestly. I trained myself out of that because I choose to be honest all the time. But I do use a word called transparently. And there are some times when you're telling people things that you wouldn't normally say. And what I'm going to tell you right now is me being transparent, which is we have more sales than I was personally expecting. And so first of all, thank you to so many of our, I knew this was going to be an amazing new program. I had no clue that the tidal wave would come in the way it is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through some names of people who have invested in the program. I'm going to welcome you, and then I'm going to tell you what to expect over the next few days and weeks as we work together. And I'll just name some folks. So Barry, first of all, fast implementation to Barry, who I'm not surprised was actually the first person in the system within moments of actually it opening up. Teresa, thank you for joining us. Reganathan, and again, I'm going to learn your name perfectly by the time we work together. David, who we know actually is coming to our mastermind group here. Brilliant, thank you for your investment, David. Ivan, Elizabeth, thank you for your investment. Kenneth and Jefferson and Robert and Susan, thanks. Welcome back, Susan. You've been such a great friend of ours for so many years. Artemis, Ember, Lewis, Francine, who came to our book training recently, who's an attorney, a beautiful person, and a wonderful friend. Dr. Imogene, thank you. We're looking forward to working with you and your team. Yes. And that's just the tip of the iceberg, or whatever you want to call it, the bottom tip, whatever. So the point is,
that's the tip of the iceberg. We've got this is fantastic. It's so great to have you.
Yeah. So our first 15-day training is totally full, and I haven't even gone through the rest of the names. The second one might be as well. Now's the time to get inside of the system. There will be a follow-up email that's going to go out to you today, and then we're going to deadline this officially at midnight, which I didn't say, but we're going to deadline this at midnight, and then what we're going to do is take a big breath. We're going to come back, and then we're going to start to offer this outside of our world. Currently, this promotion is only being done to the folks who are on Mike's list or who follow me.
Yep.
And so we invited you as a family to see this first. This is the way we typically do things. Yeah. But once this happens, we're going to go out to the world, and when that happens, the thing will totally sell out. So
yeah, but we won't have the 1 days. So other people are going to pay more money with fewer bonuses as well, because once our events full and our in studio are full as well. So that's why make sure you get inside here, because right now I can see our countdown is already down to 3 units right now. So get inside here. Make sure you sign up before we run out, because I don't know what the heck we're going to do. Again, this was extraordinary. First of all, thank you for being here and participating and seeing the possibility and potential and what this is going to do to build and grow your business. So again, get in there and click that order before we run out of bonuses and before Yes, so that's great.
So let's take some questions. Listen, we're a little past what we planned on the time, but to serve you, what we're going to do is we're going to stay and answer your specific questions. And so we'd love to be able to do that for a little while. So keep the questions coming. I'm going to answer a few. First, Esther says, "Can I join later when I have more time to really spend on the course, like for example in January?" Here's what I recommend, Esther. Do whatever suits you best, but I would recommend right now investing in the program, getting access to it. That way, when you get ready in January to use it, you've got the discount. Plus, you lock in a day to come here with Mike and I. There's no guarantee in January. In fact, it probably won't be available by then, and we may offer it to the next few webinars or webcasts, but we might not. So the point is, get in now, at least get started, and maybe just start taking, I don't know, 20 minutes, 30 minutes a week just to go through the system and start kind of priming it a little bit. I think what you'll see is you're going to start to see clients where you didn't see clients before, and opportunity where you saw it before as well.
That's the biggest thing is a huge part of success, as you know, is about changing the way you think and seeing opportunity where you didn't see it before, and also understanding how to pay attention to your language patterns, which either bring people closer or push them away. And what Ed is incredible at is being able to change your language patterns so people see you as being more valuable and are willing to give you more money. So this is honestly a thinly disguised personal development course that happens to serve as a business building course just as well, because that's a huge part of what it takes to be a successful consultant or advisor or anything you do. And let's face it, whether you're negotiating or working at your current business and you have a job, or you want to start a business, or you're in a place where you're retired and you want to start another business, or whatever it is, part-time, full-time, anywhere in the country, any industry, this will work for you.
All right, so
what's another question that we have?
Janelle says, is it self-paced or do you sequence it with what to do when? So good question, Janelle, and why don't I just walk you through the experience that you have when you first enroll. So first of all, you click the button that's to the right of us right now, I think. It says, yes, I want consultant profit. So first thing you do is you click that button. Then you're gonna go to a page that has a summary of everything I talked about. Actually, not everything, but the majority of it is on there and detailed for you. You're gonna scroll, Janelle, all the way to the bottom and choose your payment option. Remember, it's either $19.97 or you can get in for under $730, which is an amazing deal when you look at the options that are presented to you. So once you do that, you're gonna click, you're gonna put in your payment, and then you're gonna get an email with a login to the membership site. The membership site is structured in an easy to follow format. First, you're gonna see a welcome video from Mike and I, actually standing right here in this studio, where we're gonna talk.
The same studio you're gonna come to?
Yeah, I'm gonna even be wearing the same jacket, okay? So we're in the studio and we're telling you where to start and how to start implementing, and there's 2 places in the system to start, not one. There's the beginning, and there's also a place to go if you're looking to close deals really fast. And so we give you actually a little bit of a choose your own adventure, and you can go to one of those 2 places. But the welcome video, which is just a few minutes, will show you which one to go in each of those directions, and then you'll get started. Here's my recommendation. There's more material inside of the system than you need or that you're going to go through. And so my recommendation is to choose your own adventure, pick the path that makes the most sense to you. After watching that video with Mike and I, do that, then take out the agreements and the forms and go out and start to propose a deal or discuss a deal. What you're gonna find when you get into the system is all that nervousness that you used to have around deals and all that angst about charging people money and all that reticence about sending things out via email that asked people to pay you. All that's gonna go away, okay? Because I'm gonna teach you how to do this in a way that's super conversational. It just feels like you're talking to someone, and next thing you know, they're paying you and they're thrilled to do that. You're getting paid, you're thrilled to be getting paid, and you're helping someone and they're thanking you in this amazing free market world that we were kind of joking about, where someone can get what they want, which is the help from you, or maybe even just a second opinion. You can get what you want, which is you can get paid, and you're starting to get paid. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna come here to San Diego, work with Mike and I, and we're gonna put the afterburner jets on that and really shoot your business into the place that you want it to be.
And I've got something else, if you've ever been overcommitted before. But before that, in the background, I've been negotiating something. So we have officially already sold out of our first batch of seats in the studio. Ed and I just didn't expect this to happen. So here's what I did. I just negotiated with my COO, and we're allocating some additional dates. So we're basically going to do some additional dates that we're going to open up. So we're adding 25, well, we got to do 30. So we're going to have to add 30 more seats right now. So we're going to make room for 30 more. So right now, you can go ahead and get inside there. So that's announcement number 1. The next one is, there is a really, really good question that I just got from Kristen, which is from Rachel. So you ask, what if I don't have a business? So if you are in either transition or you have a job, or you have a business and you're not satisfied with it, this will work for you, because here's one of the first things. First of all, we are giving you essentially 5 pre-made businesses that come along with this, okay? So everything from a strategic advisor to a book marketing consultant to a product marketing consultant to a digital marketing consultant or a video marketing consultant. Now, all of the resources and tools are adaptable for any business type. So if you are a coach, whether it's a health coach, fitness coach, business coach, wealth coach, whatever it is, everything in here will apply to you and help you find better customers, charge more money, and elevate your status, okay? So again, this will help you no matter what business or industry you are in.
Yeah, and
I have one other thing I was gonna add too.
No,
you go ahead.
Kathy said something similar, which is, what if I don't know what to consult on? Okay, Kathy, this is the course for you if you have no idea what you're gonna consult on, because when you get inside the system, in addition to the 5 business models, we're gonna show you the kind of questions to ask yourself to see what you wanna do to help people. Now, what I want you to remember though is you don't need to feel like, gosh, I need to be this expert in this industry to be able to help. I've been hired by people, like for example, I was hired by what I consider the best speaker in America right now, who actually brought me in to help him with an aspect of his speaking. I was hired by one person that I consider one of the best digital marketing people on the planet, who actually brought me in to help him with his digital marketing. both of those people knew way more. I mean, way more than me on that particular topic. They were smart enough. Both of them are 7-figure earners, by the way.
Yep.
They were smart enough to bring me in because they were looking for a second opinion. So Kathy, don't be careful. I don't know if you're doing this, but I'm saying a lot of us do this. We talk ourselves down and go, oh, nobody will hire me because I don't do that. Remember, there's people that would bring you in, and the key to that actually starts with step one, which we'll do together, which is positioning.
Yep.
Finding your place in the market and really positioning yourself so that people start coming to you.
This strategy, all the systems, and what Ed teaches you. And I'll give you another example. If you've ever found that you're overwhelmed or you overcommit to someone, and it feels as though you're getting asked to do too much more than what you were paid for, let's say on a fixed price. And we've all had that happen before. What Ed's going to do is establish
4 shots of
boundaries.
espresso right there, baby.
There we go. Very nice. That's if you're wondering why Ed was speaking quickly a little bit earlier, now you know. But the important thing is, what Ed will prevent you from doing is overcommitting or getting put into a spot where you're requested to over-deliver and not know how to say no. Because saying no is just as important as getting someone to say yes to you. And that's what these formulas and these tools will do for you as well.
All right, so many more of you are joining us. I'm just going to
Kathy just got in. Congrats.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you, Kathy. Actually, that was just you asked the question, so thanks for that. By the way, I just realized I started answering a question and then I talked about the system and didn't wrap it up. So Janelle, Kristen, I know just private messaged you, but the program is self-paced. Okay, so you can go at it at whatever speed. You can do it all tonight if you want to, and like stay up until the morning, or you can space it out over the next few weeks. You could choose the speed at which you want to go. It's totally fine. Let's go through some of the folks who have recently invested in the system. So we've got David. Thank you so much for your investment. Ann, who is a longtime friend. Ann, we love you. Looking forward to seeing you again. Hope you're doing awesome, and I hope that your vacation was great too. Noel, welcome into the system. Bobby, Janelle, who is actually asking that question. Shirley, Issam, and Susan, welcome to Consultant Profit. Our job is really simple. It's just to completely blow you away, okay? To absolutely blow you away. Today, everyone whose name I just mentioned and the rest who I haven't had time to mention yet, get inside of the system. At least watch the first welcome video. Start with either position or price. I'll explain what that means once you get inside of there, and then get ready to implement and see the results. What I want you to do is go out and close a deal. Trust me, all the nervousness is going to start to go away. Go close the deal. Send us your agreement. Send us your check. We would love to interview you. You never know. The next one of these, we may actually have you here telling your story. We would love to be able to share your story with the world. But more than that, we want you to go off and join the ranks of people who are closing $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 deals, who are building 6-figure businesses, consulting. Shoot, we've had one of our students come in with a $109,000 deal. Think about that. We've had one of our students who's here right now on chat, $300,000 deal. This is possible for you when you implement the system with no prior experience, no prior expertise. Just follow our lead. We give you everything that you need. And by the way, we're going to have fun together too, which would be great.
It is true, because you get to come to San Diego with Ed and me, all right?
Yes.
And
so Barbara, welcome. Barbara, we're looking forward to seeing you in a month too. So welcome into the system.
Glad to have you, Barbara.
We have something cool for you, by the way.
Oh yes, we do.
We have something particularly cool for you.
A big thank you. Yes.
Yeah, we have a thank you for you.
All right. So we've got a couple other things that are cooking here as well. What I want to let you know is, if you have any questions, go ahead.
Orders just keep. So welcome Gary, welcome Anthony, welcome Kathy, welcome into the system. By the way, now there's just look. Here's the thing. It's time to invest in it. If you haven't done this already, get in so that you can get into the one-on-one training. Okay, get off the fence. The deadline's tonight, but the deadline doesn't even matter. We're going to start running out of coaching dates. Okay, so the deadline is tonight, but now's the time to get in. And remember, there's a 30-day guarantee, which means you can get in for less than $730. You can get inside of the system. You can go close a deal. You make your money back. If you don't after 30 days, just send us the system back. You can get a refund. It's a total no-brainer. All the risk is on us, but we want you to come into San Diego and work with us.
Spend a day with us here in San Diego. It'll be an absolute blast.
So click the button that's like down here someplace, the orange one.
All right. So I have an idea, and that is this. If you have questions right now that you want answered, there is a phone number that's up on the screen right now as well. That's 858-227-8108. Is that what it is? I got to make sure I can see right. 9108. Because I am blind.
One question I want to answer, Marco. Welcome back, Marco, by the way.
Oh, great.
He says, how similar to Publish and Profit? Not at all. Okay, so 100% different,
Completely
except
different
for these two guys. Okay. Number two, what if I'm tied up for the rest of the year and I won't be able to take the training until January? Is it possible to lock the price today and get in on the system? So get in on the system now.
Yeah.
Okay, and then come to our one-on-one training in January. Right? Does that make sense? So you're going to make the payments now, but you're going to come to our one-on-one. We have some January, February, March. I think out to March. Is that right?
Yeah,
6
that's
months.
right.
So we have it out to March. So Marco, get in now, invest in the system now, start making your payments now, and then come in January, February.
We'll be sending out registration links to choose the date that you want to come to San Diego and spend with Ed and I. And again, this is a one-time thing. We decided to do this at the last minute because here's the thing. We're looking for the right fit people who are really, really ready to step it up for this coming year and for this year and earn more, live more, and give more at the same time. And we're going to give you the tools, the resources, the scripts you need that you can get to from where you are to where you want to be, but more importantly, be able to do that one-on-one time, which we know is important. People have been asking that for a long time. The truth is, this is the first time we decided, look, we're going to do this for, frankly, again, when we work one-on-one with clients together, we charge $30,000 a day. So you're going to get us in a very small, intimate environment in $1 million studio here in San Diego, which will be an absolutely fantastic time.
A couple more questions and then we'll wrap it up. So Bob asked a follow-up question about the strategic advisor.
Get inside here
Bob,
right now, we're running out of slides.
Here's what to do. Invest in the system. Give it a shot. If it doesn't answer every question, which it will, let me tell you, when you get in here, you're going to see why the deals are falling through the cracks. I'm just telling you, you're going to see why they're falling through the cracks, okay? Get in the system. Watch the training or listen to the training and implement, and you'll see a big change in your business. If that doesn't happen, which it's going to, if that doesn't happen, you got 30 days to send it back, okay? So Bob, just get in there. Trust me, the answer to your question about closing strategic deals is there. It's in there. Let's see, any more questions that we need to answer? Golly, my goodness.
Yeah, Kristen's got a couple for me.
Kristen's got a couple? Okay, go ahead. What do you got there, Mike?
I was waiting for Kristen to get them. She said she's pasting them over to me right now.
Okay, well, I know you've got something to add because you always do. What do you say to someone who's sitting on the fence?
You know, you have to look. You have to look at the opportunity that's given to you and the people that are giving it to you. You've got Mike Koenigs, Ed Rush. They have doing these webinars. I have to tell you, as the inventor of Webinar Jam, the co-founder of Webinar Jam, I see a lot of people are scared to put live chat on. They say, well, I don't want to put live chat on. I don't know what people are going to say in there. Mike and Ed embraced that, and throughout the entire presentation, what were you seeing? These guys are great. I've been to their events. I get the best networking. My sister has used this and got incredible results. It just kept going on in there because they have a tribe of people that have just gotten great results with them. So here's what I would say for you. There's always a lot of different opportunities hitting your inbox. Many of them are complicated. This is something that just makes you a better you, and it helps you fine-tune what you know you already want to do. You have some type of passion in you, something that you want to give back. You're an infopreneur, an author, a speaker, or you just want to be a little bit better at it, then these are the guys to do it. I mean, Mike Koenigs probably does 4 to 5 live events per year. He's written the book on it, literally. Ed, every time I sit with him, I have to take out my iPhone and open up my notes. He's always giving me books and tips that I can use in my business. These guys are the best. There's a reason why I'm even here with them, doing some behind the scenes with them to make sure that everything goes great here. I want to help them get this message out there. When they were putting the offer together, I was like, wow, this is amazing. This has a lot of the stuff that they put together in the past. What I was blown away by was such of the hand-holding that you guys are going to be getting with them, the personal time, the opportunity to get one-on-one with them, getting in live at the events, live here at the studio. Some of these things were just blowing me away, and I got to tip my hat to these guys to be putting together something that under my recommendation would have been a $5,000 program. They put it together at $39.97, and just yesterday decided for their VIP customers that have purchased any one of their products before in the past or being on their list here to give a $2,000 discount. Guys, at $19.97, I would, if you have the cash flow, I would definitely get in. From what I'm seeing here, we are down to about 3 minutes left. There's less than 12 spots to get started with, and you can get started for just $727 today. They give you a money-back guarantee. Jump in, come to these events, learn from them, because what if everything they promised you would just happen. Imagine what it's going to be like to be able to get somebody that contacts you and have all of the word tracks, all of the things to say, all of the emails, the websites, everything to just put in place to let it do the closing for you so you can do what you do best, and that's the consulting about what you're good at. So let them take the templates of the marketing and just put it in your hands, put it in your text messages, your email, your replies, your funnels, everything like that. You'll just have that ready and you fill in the blanks Mad Lib style to your particular niche and watch this work for you as it has done for so many people. So back to you guys. That's
Thank you, Mike. Man, I'm surrounded by mics today.
All right, that's a good thing.
It is a good thing.
Got a Mike sandwich. So one thing that popped up, I know we have Esther here. She's from Dubai, and she asked a question. And again, we took care of this in the background because we want to take care of you.
We didn't plan on this, Esther, until you asked. So thank you for the question.
Yes.
So for folks who are
outside of the United States where travel isn't reasonable or realistic to San Diego, what Ed and I are going to do is we're going to schedule a day. We've got to work with our operations people to determine what that is, where we are going to do a remote or small group training where you will be able to spend a day with us remotely from the studio, and we'll wire it up. So we will actually go to all the places in the studio and actually be able to dial in, and you'll be able to connect and communicate with us. We've just got to figure out the logistics. So that's one thing that we're going to commit to right now is we are going to make a remote in-studio training where you get to be here remotely with us work in that instance. So that way, if that bonus was one of those things where it was like, it made you say, I want to do it, but we're going to make that happen for you. So that will give you an excuse to get inside right now as well.
So, and by the way, if for some reason you live in, the rings of Saturn and you're like, I can't even get to America, then listen, the program itself is worth way more than what we're asking for it, and you'll get here to a one-on-one day at some point. Now, one point of clarification, we mentioned a live event in December. We kind of did that fairly quickly, and we did it quickly for a reason, because we actually talked about 2 events, and we knew we were going to be talking about this bonus. So the bonus is a one-day. That's 15 people or less right here in the studios with Mike and I. The event in December, we haven't even talked about this, but it's an event that we call Go Live and Profit. It's a 3-day event, and we're going to be really rolling the onion on a lot of things like Facebook Live and YouTube Live and live streaming, and we're going to talk about some of the cutting-edge lead generation technologies, and you want to be here for that. We didn't talk a lot about it because we didn't want you to get confused with the 2 days, but now that we've talked about both of those things, just so you know, the December event is a 3-day larger event, and the 1 day is a 15-person smaller event that we have scheduled at least a day over the next 6 months, which you will have access to inside of the membership area. It's not there now, but it will be there soon so that you can start scheduling those days. The scheduling for those days is first come, first serve based on who invested in the program, okay? And so the first day is almost definitely full. The second day is actually full, okay? And so now's a good time to get in because you want to lock this in so it's not too far away. So now's the time to get inside of the system. We're going to wrap this up, but you do that by pushing the button on the right here.
Get inside there because we're running out of bonuses again. So this is something, we got a couple more questions. So one of them, is there a community membership site? The answer is yes. You're going to get instant access to all of the videos, the tools, the resources, the downloads.
It's all inside of one site, so you don't have separate logins. It's just one big membership site that has all the tools, all the resources, all the downloads, all the presentations, all the scripts, all the forms, everything you need, and then a whole bunch of extra other stuff.
That's right.
Plus the community as well.
Self-paced, learn at your own. Okay, Peter asks, is it possible to be a consultant when it comes to gardening and position yourself as a unique expert? The answer is yes, as we had said earlier. We have people in the most unusual businesses. Some of them I can't even mention here, quite honestly.
It's true.
They're wacky. And all of this is about being able to position yourself as an authority, get the attention of someone, engage with them, ask questions that get people to say, I want to work with you and I will pay you without wasting yours or their time. And being able to position yourself as a premium consultant and coach as well, or an advisor. So that should answer that question. And Elba asked a great question, is do you think in the future you could implement the system in another language like Spanish? Yes, I'd love to do that. Ed and I wanted to. Yes, we wanted to do that. For now, it is all English, but that is on our list of want to do's. Okay, it's just all a matter of being able to do the work. For right now, our hands are full with English.
Yeah, and our next plan, sometime probably in the next year, is Spanish, and then right after that, the language that clicks. You know, the one that's like.
Oh yeah, we're gonna do we're gonna do the African click language. Okay, so this is fantastic. I'm so excited. So here's what I want to just engage with you. One
jokes
thing.
are our sign to start closing up the
There we go.
webcast.
I'm going to go over to the whiteboard for just a moment and show something off. Are we on? Okay, and that is this. Maybe, maybe not. Oh, I didn't give you a line. All right, see that? All right, see what's on the screen? It says text deal to 858-213-0030. If for some reason you still have some other detailed questions, or you want us to provide a credit solution to you, we're working on getting a PayPal credit set up right now. Go ahead and text deal to 858-213-0030. And what my goal is to be able to make sure someone on my team can get back to you, answer some questions, or get you inside the system. And there again, that will help you if, again, you want to get hold of and use PayPal credit or some other way. Go ahead. I want to make sure that you get inside the system and get any other questions you have answered. The system is automated, and this is also one of the tools and resources that we're going to be teaching you in some of the training that'll be upcoming in the system as well. So again, a huge part of what we do, what we share with you, is using mobile interactive marketing to get and close deals. And we do what we teach, okay? We're constantly working with the latest tools, strategies, and techniques. So again, just text deal to 858-213-0030. Gentlemen.
All right, that's if you have specific questions, but listen, if you have questions, you can always just invest in the system. You've got 30 days to figure it all out, and then, of course, you get the guarantee there. So right to your right, you see the number actually is counted down to 1 and is going to actually 0. We're about to close up the webcast. Our trainings are now getting full, but what we're going to do is we're going to open up our future trainings. We want to make sure that when you take action in the next few minutes, you get access to that bonus, which, like we said, is going to be the first one to go away. In this system, you'll see in the future all of the bonuses that we mentioned, like the book and the FBAM training and the money phone. All of those bonuses we will make continually available with this system, even as the price increases, because those are digital bonuses that you can go and download at any time. The limited bonus is the one where Mike and I work with you one-on-one right here in the studio. That one will just go away. I mean, there's just no question about the fact that that is completely limited, because I don't know. I mean, maybe you'll go be the CEO of Apple, go on sail the world or something like that. You never know what's going to happen. But the point is, we're just not going to be doing many of these, and so we're going to open up another date that leaves us a few more slots. I'm not sure exactly how many we have available, and I can't read it. Okay. But that leaves a few more slots, so we're going to open those up, and then we're going to close the webinar. So now's the time to get in. So if you've been thinking about it, you're on the fence, click the button that's off to your right here, this little orange button that says Get Inside a Consultant Profit, or go to yen.tv. It's right below us right now, /CAP. The deadline for the whole offer is tonight at midnight. That's when we reassess. We figure out if we're going to do another promotion next week or what we're going to do. Okay, you'll see this probably again. It's been working so great, but the point is, the deadline is tonight, but especially to get inside of that training, it's right now. So go click the button now, enroll. Again, you have 30 days to try everything out, test it all out. You're going to be blown away.
Yeah, and we want to welcome a few more people who made a commitment to join us. Okay, so we got Anthony, we got Kathy M, we got Leah S, we got Karina C, we got Quinn V, and Linda V just joined us, so thank you for getting inside. Also, make sure you jump in before we run out of slots for the coaching.
And Gary, welcome. So, wow, just
thank you.
So, Kristen, who's been doing a lot of behind-the-scenes work, said something about how much fun she's having watching us.
Thank you for that.
Being giddy.
All right,
it's just great. Thank you so much. We're really we're thrilled. By the way, we're thrilled to be able to work with you. We've been able to, and I'm just really thankful for this. We've been able to see lives completely changed. And I'm not exaggerating when I tell you, we've seen people go from coming to an event and sleeping in a car at one of our events to closing $300,000 deals. That's a significant change in someone's life. We've seen people go from not being able to make a credit card payment to closing $15,000 deals. We had Drew, who I believe this is the same Drew that was in chat, who took a chance on our program, took the payment option, took the program, closed a $5,000 deal, actually was just getting ready to foreclose on his house, came to our event the next month and stood up on stage and was literally weeping because the program completely changed his life. We've had people like Irene, who is also in chat, who was barely making it, barely scratching by, and had people who were, kind of asking her questions like, why don't you go get a real job? Took our program, added a zero, went out and started closing $5,000 deals. And I want you to imagine right now what that would be like for you. Imagine the situation that you're in right now. I don't know where you're at financially. I don't know where you're at personally. What I can tell you is there's a difference between where you're at right now and where you want to be. Okay, you've got a goal or a dream or an ambition. You want to change the world somehow, and part of getting there is your financial piece and package. And these are the tools to get you there, in my opinion. Look, there's been no better system that I've seen to help you make $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 very quickly while helping people, but you need to make a decision to get off the fence. Okay, this is not going to be around for very long. Certainly not the opportunity to work with Mike and I. The price is going to go up. There's a lot of things that are going to change, but right now, because you're a part of our family, you get a chance to come in here. And so I want to encourage you to do this. Take a chance, push the button, go to the website, scroll to the bottom, click and choose your payment option. You can choose the option that gets you in for less than $730. Look, that is an absolute total no-brainer. That's just like a few dinners, okay? And all you need to do is start to watch and start to implement, because I want you to be our next success story, wherever you are. Wherever you are. You may be doing well, you might not be. You might be struggling, you might not be. I don't know where you're at, but wherever you are, take the step to go from where you are to your goal. The opportunity is right in front of you right now. And I know you feel that right now. I know you're feeling the tension of like, man, I've tried things before and maybe they didn't work. This isn't one of those courses. This is the course that you implement and it works because it's based on fundamental principles that work. And we wouldn't be saying this if we didn't have story after story of people who came back and just said, look, I gave you guys a shot. I gave you the 30 days and now I'm hooked. And there's people in chat here. Actually, there's people who've invested in this system who have sent us success stories like that to show you how powerful this tool is.
That's right.
So now's the time, get in, click the button and get started today and see the results. You'll be amazed.
All right. And what I will also say, I know one question that Kathy said, does it work for network marketing? Interestingly, yes, okay? And I will be full disclosure, I actually invested in a network marketing company recently. I've been using these techniques and strategies and I am getting weekly checks from that. And for 30 years, I swore off all network marketing as being the spawn of Satan, quite frankly. I don't believe that any longer for the right kinds of businesses and opportunities, but these strategies will help you build and cultivate an engaged audience that wants to work with you, and it will make you a more effective presenter and teacher and able to put together and do your own events and draw people in, whether live or online or over the phone or over the web as well.
If you have a question about another industry, I'll just tell you, Mike and I have identified over 300 different industries that this works in, and we haven't identified one that it hasn't. So we've never had one person come to our training and go, well, this doesn't, we've not ever had that, but we've always been able to add to, because the fundamentals are the same. They work in any industry, in any business, because remember, it's just communicating with people, and it's a way of communicating to get people to pay you so that you can help them, and it's awesome. So
that's right.
Come and do it. It's a blast.
So here's what we're gonna do. Any other questions, just go ahead, take advantage of this before the counter runs out. I know we've got a unit or two left to get inside here. And then the other thing is this. We are going to keep the screen up for a few moments while you have an opportunity to get inside, click that button, and join us. We can't wait to have you here in San Diego. You've got 2 opportunities to do that. And you also have an opportunity to get inside this program starting right now, using and implementing this. For all we know, you could just perhaps watch a couple of the modules and be able to use those to go out and close a deal before the day is done. So,
man, orders just keep rolling in. Esther, welcome to the program. Sandra, welcome to the program. Get in now. Start implementing. Use it. Use it. Use it. We're giving you the tools for success. Use it. Send us your success story. You're going to have a blast. Shoot, we're going to have a blast. Come in San Diego and join us.
All right. And we have one other unannounced thing. For the folks who jumped inside, there's something coming up that I think will impress you, and we're going to share with you another technique we didn't even talk about today.
It's
only for people who get in and join, though. So go ahead, get inside. I want to thank you on behalf of Mike Filsame over here. There he is. I know we'll swing that camera on. There he is.
Yeah, they tricked me. They told me I was coming here for
with his green vodka juice or whatever that is.
That looks good. Looks good. And I also want to thank Mr. Ed Rush,
hey, thank
ladies
you very
and
much.
gentlemen, our very, very talented presenter today, who's going to be your coach as well and get you from where you are to where you want to be.
Sure.
Myself, Mike Koenigs. I also want to thank my crew. I got Brendan running the switcher and the cameras, our studio manager here, and a whole lot more. We had Finn helping us out earlier. Chris and Kristen and Davey and Chris Hendrickson.
And Rye.
And who else tonight?
Rye
is actually here with us very, very remotely. And from Lithuania.
Kristen's allowed to actually get some sleep now, so that's
Kristen's been up for weeks on end getting prepared for this
getting
very
the
day.
product into the system.
Unbelievable. So my team has been kicking butt, and thank you, team, for really, really doing an amazing job. And everyone in Team Canada as well, because I don't even know who all is on here from there. But I want to thank you for all the work that you've been doing. Thank you again, and we will see you soon. We're just going to roll a little bit of music, so we got an opportunity. Get inside if you haven't made a decision already. Thanks.
So long.
See you soon.